The capitalist warrior digs his grave with a voice that could make demons quiver. He's the prognosticator, the truth giver, blasting through the speakers with deadly precision. His words cut deep, causing global division. The CIA levels of assessment, he's got them all, unmasking the lies, watching empires fall, ruthless and relentless. He takes the stand, bringing the hammer down on the corruption on the land. No politician, nobody is safe from his wrath. He's the business badass, here on the warpath. Ghost, predicting the future. Ghost, sparking synapses. Ghost, the badass of business. Yeah, now get ready. True Capitalist Radio starts right now. Fucking bucks.
What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And I'd like to thank you for tuning in with me, folks. All right, cheers to everybody out there who is listening to me on this Monday. And I want to say right off the bat that I did have a ghost show yesterday, and it ended abruptly because I am sick and tired of that show. So if you happen to be of the demographic that likes that show and, you know, is a troll terrorist, cyber vermin scumbag, then I would like for you to please just go ahead and exit stage left, all right? So that's all I got to say about that. And we got Pookie from 713 with a Rumble rant. Let's hear it from the fat ass of business. Look, I'm not taking this today. There's not going to be another ghost show for some time because I hate the fucking people that it attracts, all right? I hate the people that it attracts. So with that being said, we are being broadcasted to several different platforms. I mean, we are now doing True Capitalist Radio on Vaughn. We are on Rumble. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter or X as well. And we are on D-Live. So we got a lot of folks going on out here. So with that being said, I just want to say that if you're a troll terrorist cyber vermin, get the hell out of here. Nobody wants to hear from your sphincter fingering, turkey tit sucking, seat sniffing pieces of trash ass. All right? It's time to get to the financial insight and the political and social commentary that many of the folks appreciate around these parts. All right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and start True Capitalist Radio episode 707 right now. And I'd like for everybody to please spread this show across the internets and throughout the world if you can, all right? So let's go ahead. We got the markets here, and people are buying the dip. They are buying the dip of the Big 12 or the Magnificent 7, whatever you want to refer to these big stocks that are holding 80% of the market's money. You have a lot of these folks buying the dip, the NVIDIAs, the Teslas, these Alphabets, Apple, and that's reflected in the indices today. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Dow Jones Industrial today up 0.32%. Salesforce, I believe, had some better than expected earnings, so that's what drove that. Dow Jones Industrial closing out at 40,415.44 points for the Dow Jones Industrial, all right? We've got the S&P 500. It is also up today, 1.08%. All right, closing out the S&P at 5,564.41 points for the S&P 500. And we've got the NASDAQ. It is up today, buying the dip over there, up 1.58% on the day, closing out the NASDAQ at 18,007.57 points for the NASDAQ composite. Gold today, once again, not really going anywhere. We are below 2,400. Current price for gold is $2,399.10 per troy ounce of gold. And we've got oil. Oil is down considerably today on a bunch of different factors, but it is down 0.22%. It is under $80, folks. Oil is at $79.95 per barrel of WTI sweet crude oil, all right? And five-finger prostate punch, you know what? Why don't you, look, just shut your stupid stinking hole or I'll ban your ass from there. I'm tired of you trolls, all right? I am tired of you trolls. So if I'm just going to kick your ass out of here if you're just going to be a troll terrorist bastard, all right? I'm just going to kick your ass out of here. Anyway, even though people are buying the dip, I think everybody in the institutional Wall Street perspective understands what's going on here. Take a look at this, Wall Street Journal. Greatest bubble nearing its peak, says Black Swan manager. All right? So people in the Wall Street institutional class are recognizing the writing on the wall. The only people that are buying the dip are these retail investors because they can't believe that this gravy train of meme stocks and meme coins is finally coming into an end. And they're trying to keep it alive with whatever beans they have left, whatever credit they have left. But this contraction, or should I say, the great rotation is upon us, if you want my opinion. Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on another Wall Street Journal article here. A stock market rotation of historic proportions is taking shape. So it's about ready to happen. It's just we're waiting for retail investors, which is a factor that we have not seen in markets past, if you want my opinion. And five-finger prostate punches, it's a serious question. Well, then keep it to yourself. All right, five-finger prostate punch, listen to me, all right? I don't want to see any Rumble rants or any text-to-speeches or any buy-me-a-coffees unless you're going to say something positive. Do you understand? Unless you're going to say something positive. I'm sick and tired of you trolls. I told you all on the last Ghost show last night. I'm not doing any Ghost shows. I'm going to be doing True Capitalist Radio at least 4 to 5 times a week. All right? We're going to try to stay consistent around this time. All right, 4 to 5 times a week. We're in very serious times, and I know most of you aren't taking it serious, and you ain't going to take it serious until it slaps you upside your fat jelly goddamn chicken tendy ass. So that's what I'm talking about, all right? So just cut the crap. But once again, everybody in institutional Wall Street knows something is afoot, all right? Something is afoot, and I mean, most institutional investors are going there. I mean, I talked about that billionaire Druckenmiller who's out here putting massive amounts of money in small cap stocks, which is exactly what I'm doing, which is exactly what everybody should be doing right now. Micro and small cap stocks at 25-year lows. If you want to move your money somewhere for a long-term investment, and when I mean long-term, I'm talking at least 2025 and beyond, take a look at small cap stocks and take a look at where the institutional investors are going. You can find that information out. And hold on, we got Vox Artificial. Happy Manga Monday goes, yeah, shut up, asshole, all right? All right, just shut your stupid stinking salmon smelling hole. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and go through crypto because, look, I think that the market's in a downturn. I think that, folks, you know, if you're going to invest in anything, do not invest at these high prices of the big 12 stocks where 80% of people's money is. You got to look for those good small cap, micro cap stocks. All right, and hey, tell us how to do it. Yeah, hey, why don't we just go ahead and give you the secret sauce while we're at it? Join the membership, man. The members are out there. They're accumulating small caps. They're doing their thing. So join the TCR membership. Fucking yeah. Anyway, let's go take a look at Bitcoin. All right, put the PC shot on. Bitcoin right now is at $68,051.64. And it looks like, once again, buying the dip. Retail investors, I think this is possibly their last hurrah on not just the stock market, but also here in the cryptocurrency market. Now, the reason that you're seeing a lot of positivity in the cryptocurrency market is because, for whatever reason, i.e. the tech that has taken over Trump and the Republican Party, you've got Trump talking very favorably towards cryptocurrency at this point in time. Very favorably. So anyway, Bob Tom with a Rumble rant, something positive. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. So keep your eye on crypto. As I'm stating, I do not believe that we're going to get to, above all-time highs. And if we do, that is going to be very shocking. But we are on an upward trend for Bitcoin, so that for all you crypto tards out there that are living and breathing this stuff, all right? Cheers to you. Let's go ahead and continue here, all right? This is really what everybody wants to talk about, and that's the news that is going on in the political system in America today. Folks, if you haven't already heard, take a look at this. Biden drops out of the presidential race after Democratic revolt following the disastrous debate. Best interest of the country, according to everybody. And let me tell you, it took Joe Biden apparently kicking and screaming for him to actually agree to step down. And there's a lot of things going on in the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party, folks. And hold on, wait a minute. Five Finger Prostate Punch. I can join the TCR chat. That's a positive. We don't want you in there, all right? We don't want any trolls in there. And Vox Artificial with a Rumble rant. Tip for Chad, if you want some money and have an old Pokemon cartridge sitting around, sell them. They're going for hundreds of dollars in some cases. He's made a few $100 selling that. Well, there you go. All right, there you go. Capitalizing on Pokemon. But anyway, look. I'm going to tell you what I believe is happening here. If you've been listening to me on the past several True Capitalist radio shows, I have said that Trump and what has happened to him, whether you believe he actually had a shot taken at him or you believe that there is some coordination of some sort involved in the assassination attempt of July 13th, regardless of what you believe, the event thereafter has compromised Trump in a very serious way. And the tail sign for it is J.D. Vance as his vice presidential running mate. Some unknown, and when he was known, any kind of documented historical evidence that you can find of the guy, he was anti-Trump. He was anti-Trump. I mean, he called Trump America's Hitler. He propagated that whole stupid Access Hollywood, grab him by the punani sort of thing. He was anti-Trump up until 2 years ago. Now, let me tell you something, folks. You can like somebody and then not like somebody anymore. You can't hate somebody and then miraculously like them all of a sudden. That's just not how it works. And as I've stated in the past several shows, what J.D. Vance's vice presidential candidacy represents, it represents big tech. I'm talking about Peter Thiel. I'm talking about Elon Musk. I'm talking about David Sachs, a.k.a. the PayPal Mafia, has taken control of the GOP. And let me tell you, we talked about it on the last True Capitalist radio show. We went over the Republican National Convention, and I showed you that Trump didn't look like he really wanted to be there. I mean, he looked like he absolutely didn't want to be there. And as I stated, it's not just big tech that has taken over MAGA.
I'd buy that for $1.
And hold on, we got Mad Thad. I'll get to you in a minute, Mad Thad. But it's not just big tech. It's also Trump's sons. I'm talking about Donnie Jr. I'm talking about Eric Trump. Let me tell you something. After the so-called event that happened, the assassination attempt on Trump, there was only like 48 hours until the first day of the RNC. Through those 48 hours where Trump almost lost his life, he was being badgered and pressured by his sons for them to choose, or for Trump to choose J.D. Vance as his vice presidential running mate. Now, you would think that, your dad just got shot. He just barely scraped by with his life. The last thing you would want to do is pressure him into doing something he doesn't want to do. Well, he's done it. And it represents that he's no longer in charge, old Trump. He's only doing whoever his masters are is bidding. And like I said, if you believe somebody took a shot at him, if you want my opinion, the true culprits of who would be able to do that are within his own MAGA organization. We've discussed this on past shows. I strongly advise you to take a look at the archive to get my view on that sort of thing. And Bob Tom, here's something positive. HIV, yeah, real funny. And Urinator with a Rumble rant. Save it for TCR, Mr. Fat. Okay, great. But either way, folks, I would strongly advise you to take a look at the mood that Donald Trump had throughout the whole RNC. He did not want to be there. And if you take a look at his speeches, it's a completely different guy. It seems as if he's against his will. And the few interviews that I've seen of Trump, all of a sudden J.D. Vance is right up there as if he's a puppeteer that has his hand up Trump's ass telling him what to say. So I'm telling you right now, what's at stake here right now is we've already got big tech. I'm talking the PayPal mafia taking control of the GOP. This Biden stepping down is an attempt by them to take control of it. Oh, on the other side, this is big tech's attempt at trying to take control of both parties. Now, as I stated, prior to Kamala Harris seemingly to being the nominee at this point, but prior to this, I suggested that if there was any kind of progressive that was nominated to be the DNC presidential candidate, then we know that big tech has taken control of the party. But as we can see here, it seems like you have a general consensus that many people, I'm talking major players, are getting their support and they're giving it to Kamala Harris. And it seems like Kamala Harris is going to be the nominee. All right. And hold on, we've got a couple of buy me a coffees here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. And of course, the people that are saying it's not big tech, you obviously didn't see the previous True Capitalist radios, and you don't know your ass from your elbow. You're just like these idiots that think that you're so patriotic because you've got a MAGA flag hanging out of your goddamn car. All right? It's a lot deeper than that, you stupid moron. Put the PC shot on. We got Mad Thad who said, have you come to your senses and got back on the Trump train? Are you fucking kidding me? I am absolutely not going for this now new GOP. Did you watch the DNC? Or excuse me, did you watch the RNC convention there, Mad Thad? Did you see that they had a prayer, some kind of Sikh prayer to some genderless deity at the RNC? They had the Queen of the Slut Walks, Amber Rose, as a featured speaker on the first day. I mean, give me a break. This is the 2008 Obama DNC convention, not the RNC convention of 2024. So, no, I'm absolutely not going to do that. All right, absolutely not going to do that. And we've got, hold on, let me get to the next ones. We're going from Mad Thad to Hawkum. I don't know what the hell that means. I don't know what the hell this name is. Hi, I'm finally back from vacation, Ghostler. Hope you've kept the trailer nice and tidy. Come back to this Biden quitting business. Guess if you were riding with Biden, you better get ready to swallow with what? Swallow with Kalama. All right. Well, first of all, I'm not down with that. All right. Now, I'll be honest with you. I do not want anyone who's going to be president who's going to be simping for Russia. That's all I care about. This is the biggest issue for me because if we bow down to Russia, we are going to look like grade A chumps in the international community. And that's exactly, if you want my opinion, what these big tech jerk-offs want us to look like. Because to be honest with you, let's be honest. All right, these big tech oligarchs, the Peter Thiels, the Elon Musks, the David Sacks, these guys have already got the American market. So they want to go after the other markets that have bigger populations like China and Russia. So this is why they want to simp. All right, they want to take over the damn world. This is far beyond just the United States of America. So anyway, I don't know, whatever the hell your name is. And we got Gorgira Train. Sup, Ghost? I'm glad you're here. Kept sleeping during the big things happening with the election. I want to be there when it happens. The RNC was a joke. I can see it on the wire with Trump and Harris. It'll take PA and a couple of swing states to determine who the president is now. So I can see governmental shenanigans happening in certain states. Hope to see you in a group chat later. I will be in the group chat later. Cheers to you, Gorgira Trains. Cheers. Hashtag fuck the trolls. Hashtag mango munching Monday. Cheers to Gorgira Trains. And of course, folks, I will be in the True Capitalist Radio membership chat room. It is a serious chat room. It is not some kind of ridiculous troll playground. There's no internet blood sports. All right, there's no internet drama. And if any internet drama is conducted in this particular membership chat room, they're out of here. All right, they're out of here.
I'd buy that for $1.
So, once again, that's why we're trying to, get people that are serious because we're tired of these damn troll terrorist cyber vermin scumbags. Let's just put it that way. And we've got Ghost Trans-Pacific Waifu Ghost is riding with Harris, posting anime on Twitter, playing E-Honda like a bitch, but can't do a simple super. I am disappointed, Ghost. Rather have a half of Indian, black, half Jewish, half whatever she is to become first woman president is sad. First of all, I have not put my support behind anybody for president. I don't know why you fucking idiots continue to insinuate that I am backing up somebody. All I'm simply stating is that my biggest issue in this election is foreign policy. All right, it's foreign policy. Anyway, let's go back to Biden, okay? Biden, inside the historic decision to drop out of the 2024 race, the decision was a tightly held one, with one integral member of Biden's re-election team finding out after the family member read the news aloud. So not even his staff, not even the people working close to his campaign knew this was coming. This was something that was done internally, and this is why I'm suggesting that it may not have been his will. As a matter of fact, there's some conspiracy theorists running around on social media suggesting that the document in question in which he signs stating that he wants to drop out of the race and supporting Kamala Harris doesn't look like his signature. And I'm hearing reports also that he may not even be alive, that this COVID bit may have succumbed this man at this point, and they're trying to keep it under wraps. Now, there is no validity to this. This is all rumor mill out there in social media. But let me tell you something. It doesn't look good for Biden, whether he is dead or on the brink. They are definitely trying to remove Biden. And the scary part about this with the DNC is that if they're going to go behind Kamala Harris, who's going to be the running mate? Because I think that makes the difference. And I hope Democrats are recognizing that they have to choose an off-the-wall running mate that is not progressive, even though it was the progressives that put the pressure on Biden to get the hell out. They need to go with somebody that is centrist, possibly even a Republican. Now, if you want my opinion,
I'd buy that for
if you wanted,
$1.
I'm going to get to you, Bert, in just a second. If you want to take somebody from the Democrat side, I think that Joe Manchin is probably the best suitable fit, in my opinion, that would get a lot of those centrists, because right now, on face value, Kamala Harris looks progressive. Now, we don't know what she's going to do. We don't know if she's going to continue the ball game of one Joe Biden. But at least for face value, considering her racial makeup and her gender, she looks progressive, at least to most Democrat voters. Now, what she needs to do is counteract that with somebody who is centrist. Now, I say Joe Manchin as a vice presidential candidate, or if there's somebody willing to roll the dice out there, if you want my opinion, they need to get some of these old institutional Republicans possibly. I mean, maybe a Mitt Romney as a vice presidential candidate. I'm not joking around. Or that guy out of Illinois that's always been anti-Trump, or what's his name, Kissinger, or whatever his fucking name is. Something like that. Because then it kind of throws off the electorate.
I'd buy
And
that for
right now, in my personal opinion, I think that this is what the Democrats need if they want to solidify the vote, if they want to actually win this election. They cannot appeal to that progressive base. They cannot do it. They cannot do it. And hold on, we got five-finger prostate punch. So where does this leave Blinken if leadership changes? Well, let me tell you, if Kamala Harris, and I'm going to talk about this here in a minute, it seems as if Kamala Harris is the nominee, she's going to keep everything in place. But that's just preliminary. That's just based upon, the tea leaves and how they've fallen in the past. But that's about it. Red Eyes Black Dragon, calling it now. Kamala will choose Hill Dog Hillary Clinton. Well, that would be rather polarizing, and that is a horrible risk, I think, for the Democrats if they do something like that. I think it's a tremendous risk because Hillary Clinton is just as polarizing as Donald Trump. And the Democrats right now, considering the post-assassination attempt, there's a lot of momentum going the direction of Trump at this point, and they've got to not just nullify it and stop it, but they got to bring that back. And the only way you do that is if you attempt to at least put forth an optical candidacy that shows an attempted bipartisanship, in my opinion. And Vox Artificial said Hillary would never accept a VP position. She's too power hungry. I agree to that. I absolutely agree to that. But once again, I mean, nobody knew in Biden's staff that he was actually going to step down. It was the last minute thing. The only people that knew were Jill Biden and I believe one senior associate in his personal consultant team. So not too many people were in on this. This was a backroom deal behind closed doors with cigars and cocktails and all that stuff. But with that being said, we now know that Biden did endorse Kamala Harris yesterday. Now, Kamala Harris, doing the optical thing necessary, came out and said, look, I'm going to earn this. I don't want to be given this. I want to earn this. And right away got on the phones. I think she gave Lester Holt an interview real quick. I mean, she went right to work. And believe it or not, she seems to have a general consensus amongst the Democrats, at least the senior Democrats, on her being the nominee. Now, this Democrat convention coming up is going to be rather interesting because I don't think that all the delegates are going to be in line, and it's going to be a very interesting Democratic convention. Let's put it that way. And we got Urinator. How much to hear you rip one into your microphone? That's disgusting. And Camaro RS09. Who's going to vote for Officer Harris besides white women? Well, you see, let's talk about that for a second. I think that Harris actually, I don't think she completely beats Donald Trump, but it puts her in better odds than Biden at this point in time because, let's be honest, the Republicans, even though Roe v. Wade has been reversed, the Republicans continue to agitate this abortion issue, which is galvanizing women into motivating themselves to go out and vote on this issue alone. And I'm talking about women of all ages as well. I'm not just talking about young whores that you would traditionally believe that this issue is a big issue for. I'm talking about old women. I mean, it is amazing how the Democrats have now used the reversal of Roe v. Wade and have transformed it into something that is now referred to as reproductive health. Reproductive health. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of women. You go and ask a woman right now. I mean, take a look at some of these pollsters, some of these guys that, get a focus group and, they televise it or they film it. And take a look at what the biggest issue is for women, and it's abortion, believe it or not. Believe it or not. Devious Dave, what happens to the Biden's campaign funds? Are they allowed to donate it to another campaign? Now, this is the big pickle because there's $240 million in Biden campaign funds that were donated to Joe Biden. And they're being really, really hush-hush about what the hell's going to happen with that money because it just can't be transferred to Kamala Harris because those were funds intended for Biden. So that's a pickle that the Democrats are going to have to figure out on their own. And that's a very interesting one, too. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Trolling the interweb, if we repeal the 19th Amendment, a lot of these problems would just go away. He's talking about the amendment that allowed women to vote. I mean, I somewhat agree with that, but you can't overtly say that in this world in which women do have political power. Let's just put it that way. I do believe that women shouldn't be in leadership positions, but that's my personal view. You don't have to have that. But I'm telling you, you live long enough, you're going to start to agree with me. Let's just put it that way. Vox Artificial with a Rumble rant. How do things work with ballot access deadlines when party swaps out their nominee at the last minute? Will there be states where Biden is still on the ballot? Now, this is a very interesting question. You see, I like this. Look, and even Vox Artificial, this trolling bastard, he's asking a very good question. Because let me tell you, the whole process, and I'm going to be critical of what the Democrats are doing, the whole process in which the replacement of Biden is taking forth is possibly the most undemocratic thing that you could possibly do. They forced this guy down. They're the ones the Democrats put up Joe Biden. They could have cut this off at the pass, and they could have urged Joe Biden not to seek re-election, and this could have all been avoided. But they still, I just propped this guy up, and they ran with him, and the guy's running out of gas. It looks like he may not be alive for too much longer. He looks in bad shape. Like I said, there's rumors around that he is in intensive care or something. I don't know if those are accurate. But let me tell you, this guy's still the president, regardless if we're running a campaign here, and that's what makes this all scary. Now, going back to this coup that's happening, all right, the same culprits that have taken control of the Republican Party are trying to take over the Democratic Party at this point in time. And they're trying to use the progressives in order to suppress the centrist, which is what I've always said Joe Biden represented. They're trying to do that in order for them to take control of the whole government. I'm talking these big tech oligarchs. And look, let me remind you, all right, these Peter Thiels and these goddamn, these fucking Elon Musk, these David Sachs, these guys are serious business. I mean, once again, here's Peter Thiel's profile in the World Economic Forum. All right, this is the guy who single-handedly gave everything J.D. Vance has to him. And why isn't Alex Jones talking about that? Why aren't the MAGA people who are supposedly against the World Economic Forum, why aren't they talking about that? Because they have a vested interest. They have a vested interest in keeping this MAGA grift going. And let me tell you something right now. They start exposing the fact that Peter Thiel, the guy that gave J.D. Vance everything financially, and they find out that, oh, World Economic Forum, I'm not too sure if they'd be too happy about it. And look, as I stated, I mean, this guy, Peter Thiel, he's trying to become the new Bill Gates, all right? I mean, because not only is he on the World Economic Forum, here is the Bilderberg official website. He is on the steering committee. Here it is right here. The steering committee of the Bilderberg Group. And this guy with Elon Musk and David Sachs have taken control of the GOP. It's a disgrace. And look, I mean, aside from Peter Thiel being down with the Bilderbergs, being down with the World Economic Forum, this guy is serious fucking business. All right, this guy is serious business because take a look at this. His company, Palantir, all right, is a CIA-funded data mining juggernaut. So all this AI shit, all this data aggregation.
I'd buy that for $1.
All right, he's the one doing it for the CIA. I mean, that's how big time Peter Thiel is. This guy is providing the AI software to aggregate data. I mean, give me a break. So that's why I'm telling you, this guy is serious business, Peter Thiel. I know he sounds like an inarticulate piece of shit, but apparently everybody respects him because he's made some pretty good business moves. Because I can't understand why anybody puts this guy on any kind of a pedestal because he's a horrible communicator, but I guess he's good at investing, all right? So I guess that's what gives him the power. Put the PC shot on. We got burnt. What's your opinion on CrowdStrike's outage? Literally, if the outage was bigger, it could have ended the world's internet. You're exactly correct. Bert is 100% correct. Because most Windows operating systems that are, I think, of Windows 11 that were updated to the current update all got affected by this. All right, believe it or not, I'm still operating on Windows 10 over here, so I didn't get affected by it, but most people got affected by it. Anyway, the world is so dependent on the internet that days won't go around. How the fuck did they live in the old days? Well, it wasn't that difficult. Everything didn't move that fast. All right, and look, since Bert brought it up, and I'll get back to the other buy me a coffees in just a second, let's talk about that a little bit. The reason I think CrowdStrike is yet another nutflex by big tech that has taken control of the GOP and are now trying to take control of the DNC, I think this was all the PayPal Mafia, in my opinion. This was all the PayPal Mafia. Take a look at this. CrowdStrike CEO warns of hacking threat as outage persists. So now they're trying to subtly throw in, these CrowdStrike people, they're trying to subtly throw in that, yes, it could be a hack. All right? It could be a fucking hack. roughly 8.5 million users of Microsoft Windows devices were affected. Remember, they were trying to tell us that it was some update gone awry. Nope, it is actually now. They're trying to subtly say it was a hack. And look, while everything was going down, who the hell was celebrating that everything was running amok? Elon Musk. All right? He was nut flexing. Take a look at this. Elon Musk mocks Microsoft amidst global outage crisis. He was laughing about it because, if you want my opinion, him and the PayPal mafia may or may not have had something to do with it. It is yet another vulgar display of power to show that these guys are taking control. Now, if you want my opinion, I think this is very dangerous for America. It is more than obvious you've got billionaires trying to use the political system in order to offset other billionaires' authority and influence, and I think things may get dangerous here. Because this CrowdStrike was a complete nutflex by the PayPal mafia, in my opinion. All right? A complete nutflex by the PayPal mafia. And in my view, the people that they're trying to nutflex against, like, I don't know, maybe Bill Gates, I don't know, maybe, some of these billionaires that, don't really appreciate these guys just kind of stepping in and thinking that they're going to just take control of everything. This may unfortunately result in one of these either PayPal mafia guys or vice versa. I mean, maybe these PayPal mafia guys go after, Bill Gates or, some of these, George Soros. Those people, because remember, those are the guys that Elon Musk always goes after. So look, I'm calling it now.
I'd buy that for $1.
I'm calling it now. Do not be surprised if these billionaires start having plane crashes or their helicopter crashes or some lone nut does something to them, because that's what's happening, in my opinion. I think it's these guys in the PayPal mafia versus the old guard of the World Economic Forum, the old guard of the Bilderberg Group. These guys are trying to come in, and now that they've got a seat at the table, they're trying to take over the table. So just look, don't be surprised if it happens, is all I'm saying. All right, don't be surprised if one of these guys end up unalive. That's all I'm saying. Don't be surprised. And Pookie from 713, are we looking at a technocracy soon? I think that's exactly where we're headed. We're headed into some kind of technocratic socialism that is going to be enforced by AI, autonomous drones. The future looks horrible. The future looks unbelievably, disgustingly horrible, and I'm glad I am old and I'm probably going to be out of here. Let's put it that way. Put the PC shot on. We've got Ghost Single Wide Trailer Landlord. Hey, Ghosty, it's been a long time since I was around. I'd figure I'd check on how you keep up with your trailer. Hopefully Tyrone and Mrs. Ghost aren't making too much of a ruckus. You said you were also wanting some sort of a chair in the corner of your two rooms. Something of a cuck chair. Stupid idiot. And we got 5-finger prostate punches. Mark Vaughn going to be safe from these big tech helicopter rides? Dude, everybody's going to be okay. It's just that these big tech guys are making a move for the fucking score. They're making a move. What was that Tears for Fears song? Everybody wants to rule the world. And we got Matt Thad. People like you and Matt Walsh need to stop gatekeeping being conservative. The old school definition of being one is dead. Well, then there's no such thing as a conservative anymore. All right, do you understand that, Matt Thad? What you just said is being progressive. You just admitted to being a progressive. The old school definition of being one is dying. Being a Christian is not what it is anymore. You see this? You see this? Being a Christian is not what's in anymore. The young people aren't going to church like you boomers used to. We need as much support from anyone and everyone to keep MAGA on the tracks. Take a look at that, huh? Huh? It doesn't matter who. Look, if you don't stand for something, you don't stand for anything. All right? So you might as well vote Democrat at that point. You might as well vote wherever the dumbass lemmings are going. That's what you should be doing. Unbelievable. Anyway, got Kits Does a Flip here. Hey, Ghost, I'm sorry I'm late, but here's a question. Are you dying by any Are you dying by any chance? You allude to something like that during the Billy Mays YouTube poop I played on the Sunday's broadcast. Oh, no, I'm not dying. At least not that I know of. All right? Not that I know of. Let's put it that way. And I didn't miss any Rumble rants, Vox Artificials. I've been reading them all, except for Camaro. Man, I was hoping the future would have big robots fighting each other, but instead, it's just gloom and doom. Listen, Camaro SO9, let me explain something to you. Take a look at the warfare military theater in Ukraine and Russia. The autonomous drones that we have given Ukraine are just taking out Russians like it's going out of style. And you can get drone overseeing footage of the destruction. And these Russians are going into trenches, and these autonomous drones can find you in the crack of the Earth's ass in order to explode and turn you into hamburger meat. It's disgusting. And Fox Artificials, I didn't miss any of your Rumble. Oh, here's one. We'd also... Okay, well, he's also probably doesn't like Microsoft because they partnered with OpenAI, which has a really sour relationship with. That's a very good point. And Southwest Airlines was spared the CrowdStrike debacle because they haven't upgraded from Windows 3.0. So, yeah, cheers to Vox Artificials. All right, scroll up. There's something about Southwest Airlines. I got it. As a matter of fact, I read about that, Vox Artificials. But let me get back to Kits Does a Flip, all right? Now, no, I'm not dying, and not that I know of. I think I'm all right. Also, since you talked about Dr. Disrespect, are you going to talk about Chris Tyson, MrBeast's tranny friend, being outed as a Woody Allen butt-loving pedophile? The freak apparently texted a minor and apparently commissioned a Caillou Rule 34. What? A Caillou Rule 34? Anyway, I think you left an article. I'll take a look at the article. What is this? All right. Now, for all those that don't know, MrBeast, which I always thought was, a fucking fraud. But, because he's giving away money and, everybody's like, yeah, I wonder if I could get some. I mean, it's just how it is. Take a look at this. We've got Ava Chris Tyson faces allegations of talking to a minor. Andrew Tate and this other idiot react. Now, look, these are all allegations, all right? But it doesn't surprise me. And according to these same allegations that are floating around the internet, MrBeast had full knowledge of what the hell was going on.
Buy that for $1.
All right? Had full knowledge of what the hell was going on, allegedly. We're going to wait till the facts come out, but I am not surprised and I am not shocked. And I hope that this is the end of MrBeast because I'm tired of seeing that idiot with his charity porn. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm tired of it. Anyway, Urinator, does Chris Tyson get an invite to the inner circle? Fuck you, asshole, all right? And Five Finger Prostate Punch, can you confirm or deny that Ukrainian drones that were supplied were purchased off China? Now, shut the fuck up. Anyway, look, the only comment I have to say about this is that I'm not surprised. Once this person started coming out as trans, they literally acted like they lost their minds. I mean, this was a person that had a wife and children and left this so that he could pursue this sexual pleasure endeavor, this fetish, because that's what it is. All right? And let me tell you, if these allegations are true, he should never have any kind of visitational rights with his children, and this should be the end of MrBeast, in my opinion. All right? This should absolutely be the end of MrBeast. And Anubis, are you tired of being MrBeast being a better capitalist than you? What's a better capitalist, dude? All right? The guy goes out there and he takes money that he makes from YouTube videos and then pretends that he gives it away on another YouTube video in order to make the hits from that YouTube video. I mean, it's fucking stupid. And I can't wait for it to come to an end. Anyway, John Balsack said, hey, Ghost, praying Boogie finally gets cancer. Well, I mean, as I've stated many times before, the fact that Boogie walks the face of the goddamn earth is God's joke. All these geniuses that are taken before their time and this fat piece of shit can fucking walk the face of the earth. It's fucking disgraceful. It is utterly disgraceful. Anyway, let's go back to what I was discussing here. We were talking about CrowdStrike and how I believe it was the PayPal mafia who was trying to flex their nuts. They've already taken over the GOP. Peter Thiel owns, if you want my opinion, I think that J.D. Vance and Peter Thiel are lovers, but I'll get to that in a minute. And once again, here you have Elon Musk gloating about it. He's gloating about it now, so very interesting what's going on here. But let's get back to what I was discussing. I don't want to get too ahead of myself here. We're going back to Biden, all right? Biden drops out, endorses Harris. All right, and let's go ahead and continue on that subject because I think there's a coup going on here. I think there's a coup going on here. Now, with that being said, take a look at this, all right? Right as Kamala Harris comes out and says, hey, I want to earn this. I don't want it to be given to me. She went out, she made phone calls, she did interviews, and take a look at this. After the first day, since Joe Biden dropped out, I mean, this broad has a monster fundraising day, raising more funds than the Trump's felony charge windfall. She has raised $90 million in less than 24 hours. All right? All right, the final total might be as high as $90 million raised in 24 hours. So there's obviously some enthusiasm in the Democratic Party that is getting behind Kamala Harris. And, I'm telling you, this kind of puts a little momentum into the Democrats. I think everything is riding on who the hell they're going to choose as their vice presidential candidate. And that's the big question. And as I stated, if Kamala Harris and the Democrats are smart, they're going to choose a centrist or potentially even a Republican. So it can give this bipartisan optics that obviously the Trump campaign with J.D. Vance are not going with. We thought they were going to go with it after the assassination attempt. Did not happen. Did not happen. So $90 million for old Kamala Harris. And hold on, we got Menno Ray. All I hear from you about other people's successes, I'm tired of seeing them make so much money. Dude, shut up, asshole, all right? I'm just saying that there should be no reason why MrBeast should be in existence, all right? He's a fucking idiot. And Belligerent Brian, how's able to do that from a kitchen? What the fuck? I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. And Vox Artificial says, I'm still feeling Burgum. Well, that was the initial choice by Donald Trump, was to pick Burgum, but he got pressured, and it seems like he's going against his will. It seems like they have something over Trump, and we've talked about it on the last broadcast. So anyway, Kamala Harris, $80 million raised, or $90 million. Allegedly it was $81 million, but it could be high as 90. They haven't finished counting the son of a bitch. So momentum is starting to shift a little bit. All right? Momentum is starting to shift a little bit. And hold on, Matt, Thad. I'll get to you in a minute, man. Take a look at this. The Trump campaign, have they peaked too soon? And this is what I was talking about on the last several True Capitalist radio shows, that the RNC convention was not something that electrified an already galvanized base after the damn assassination attempt. You know what I mean? I mean, the RNC spectacle was horrible. It was not a shot in the arm post-assassination attempt by Trump. And as I've stated in the past shows, we've even observed footage of this. He didn't even want to be there. He did not even want to be there. So, in my opinion, this catapult that happened post-assassination attempt may be fading here. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. But let me get to these Buy Me a Coffees. We got Mad Thad again. Put the PC shot on Mad Thad. So you'd rather the right wing go extinct than evolve? That's not how the world works anymore. Sin is in, boomer. You hear this? OnlyFans is booming. People aren't even that social and nice and friendly anymore. There's nothing left after Trump. Do you hear this defeatist attitude? Look at all the black Trump voters. You see, no offense, Matt Thad, I know you're black. And I know that because Snoop Dogg and all these motherfuckers say it's okay to vote for Trump now, even though these guys hated Trump. Remember, I mean, there was a Snoop Dogg video depicting Snoop Dogg shooting point-blank range an effigy of Donald Trump. And all of a sudden, the brothers now, yeah, man, motherfucking Donald Trump, man. Come on, man. Anyway, Bush didn't bring us here. Mr. Magic Underpants didn't bring us here. Trump brought us here. Anyone can be conservative. Anyone. That's fucking great. That's fucking great. You see this? This is where the Republicans are at. You're wondering why you had that slut-walk bitch Amber Rose having a speaking engagement at the first day of the RNC? Right there. All right? Right there. Anyway, look. I'm just simply stating I don't care at this point. I'm just worried about the foreign policy of America. And right now, Trump wants to play footsies with Russia. He wants Russia to take over Ukrainian territory, and Russia will not stop there. But I'm getting ahead of myself, all right? Urinator with a Rumble rant. Do you think... I'm not going to read that, you fucking sick pervert. Mod Me Coward, are you going to cover your tinfoil hat theory about Biden being dead? I'm not saying he is. I'm saying that's the rumor. All right, we haven't seen him. All right, I'm just saying. I mean, we need to figure out what the hell's going on with Biden because he's still the damn president. And if there's something wrong with him and he's incapacitated, then that technically makes Kamala Harris the president. And if Kamala Harris is the president, she still has enough time to make a goddamn move that makes her look like some valiant presidential material type individual. I'm just saying. And we got Vox Artificial. Speaking of big tech and Bergdom, he was the former Microsoft executive. Microsoft seems not to be in with the faction of Silicon Valley supporting Vance. Well, look at Vox Artificials. You see, it took True Capitalist Radio to take the trolliness out of this Canuck bastard.
I'd buy that for $1.
It took fucking True Capitalist Radio to take the goddamn troll out of this moose-humping Canadian bacon piece of shit. You know what? I'm proud of you, Vox. I never thought I'd ever say that. But you're thinking a little bit. You're starting to think a little bit. Menno Ray, so let's just give billions more to Ukraine, right? Well, dude, you have to understand, we are depleting Russia. Russia is buying time, hoping Trump wins in order for Trump to just pull back everything and Russia to continue to go forward. And that'll just make the escalation even worse. And no, Vox, you can't be the goddamn co-host, for Christ's sake. And Urinator, are you proud of me? How about no? You're a gay sexual harasser. Anyway, we got David Knopfler. Hey, Ghost, thanks for sharing all the insight and both the parties and social commentary you have been bestowing to us. I envy you have lived more in before times. I'm tired of all the weebs, YouTube stars like I Show Speed. Dude, I Show Speed is probably the biggest joke I've ever seen. I mean, literally, all it is like, hey, I Show Speed, what about this? Motherfucker! Literally, that's all it is. The Trump fanatics, the SJW trash, knowing we have to deal with all this, and it's only going to get worse, bring on the nukes. All right? They think they're different or right on their own way, but they're all egocentric fucks who would rather live in a sanctuary of their own ignorance than face the pain of reality. So I agree, man. All right, I fucking agree to that. Hey, David Knopfler, cheers to you, man. I agree. It's a melancholy way to think, but it's hard when you observe both the millennial generations downward. The millennial generations downward have been an utter disappointment, and it's sad. Utterly sad. And Devious Dave, hold on, wait a minute, hold on. Eddie324758, I'd vote for Urinator and Vox if they had their own. Well, go fuck off. Nobody asked you. And Devious Dave, TCR seems to be going good today. I appreciate the shows when I'm at work, and I hope you stay consistent with them. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to try to do True Capitalist Radio 4 to 5 times a week. All right? And that's what we're going to try to do. All right? I'm just saying. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back. Once again, has the Trump campaign peaked too soon? And the reason I say this is because now that Kamala Harris seems to be the nominee, I mean, it's still not set in stone. we have to wait until the Democratic convention, but it seems that's the way it is. Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Donald Trump's chances of winning have declined after Biden has dropped out. So, as I was stating at the beginning of the broadcast, all right, the fact that there is a woman on the ticket and the fact that abortion has now become a galvanizing issue around women because for whatever reason, these Republicans can't drop the abortion issue. I mean, you have to understand, abortion via Roe v. Wade has been reversed. It's a state's issue now. Why Republicans are continuing on with it is only galvanizing women. And as I stated, women believe that abortion is, quote, reproductive health. They equate it with women's health. Now, if you go after it, every woman takes offense to it, and now it's a galvanizing issue. Take a look at some of these sample groups. All right, they're on YouTube. Take a look at them. All these women believe that abortion is the most important issue to them. And now that you've got a woman on the ticket, come on, man. Now, I'm not saying it's a landslide. I think that Kamala Harris needs to pick a centrist or even a Republican running mate in order to give the optics of a centrist candidacy. So I think that landslides Kamala Harris and the Democrats. Because the centrist or the lack of aggressive approach that everybody expected out of Trump post-assassination attempt went out the window. So right now it's up to the Democrats where they want to go. If they pick a progressive candidate for Kamala Harris, I think she's done for. If they pick somebody who's centrist or even a Republican, an institutional Republican, you know, that fucking idiot from Illinois, Katzinger, and that fucking, or Mitt Romney even, Mitt Romney. But Joe Manchin would probably be the top on my list if I was advising the Kamala Harris campaign. That would be my first choice if you want my opinion. And let me get to some of these donos. Urinator, vote for me and I'll co-host. No, how about that? And we've got Ghost Wife's son. They should consider the governor of a purple state for VP, like Shapiro of PA or Cooper of NC. Yeah, but there's no star power there. I mean, we live in a popularity contest political landscape at this point, so there's got to be somebody with some kind of a name that will make people feel funny in the pants. And Bob Tom, Ghost is officially Democrat now. I'm not Democrat. I'm just giving my analysis on what the Democrats should do. If you want my opinion, what Trump should have done, he should have picked a more centrist, possibly center-left candidate for VP. I mean, they're already leftist as it is. If you watch the RNC 4 days, the Republican National Convention, if you watch the 4 days, it looked like a DNC convention. It looked like a fucking DNC convention. And Vox Artificial said the betting odds are still strongly in favor of Trump. Yeah, well, betting odds don't mean shit, all right? Anybody can play a parlay. Doesn't mean that that's going to fucking win, all right? But anyway, once again, the chances of Trump winning decline. It's not gone under, but it's just declined from this catapult that it had after the assassination attempt. Now take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. The favorability. All right, take a look at this. Do Americans have a favorable or unfavorable opinion of Donald Trump? 53.8% of people have an unfavorable opinion even after this debacle with the assassination attempt. And we've got five-finger prostate punch. Now that you've been saying how to win as a Democrat, how do you fix the Republicans? There's no fixing them. The only fixing is that if they lose in 2024 and this current coup that has control of Trump and has control of J.D. Vance and the Republican Party, they lose and their influence withers away and we go back to square one. And we go back to, in my opinion, grassroots. All right, and what have I said about grassroots republicanism? I understand what Mad Thad's trying to say, that conservatism isn't this hardline, Billy Graham type of evangelical. I get it. But we have to go back to grassroots morality, and I think that if the Republican Party said, look, we as a Republican Party, as a part of our platform, we want to shield children from sexuality and sexual suggestion. And if we all came to a general consensus of that, I think that would make the Republican Party very powerful. But unfortunately, we've got folks that are mouthpieces like Dennis Prager who believe that it's perfectly okay to wax your carrot to animated forms of child pornography. He said it. I played the clip. I don't want to play it again. I've played it 1,000 times. And when we have people like this that are affiliated with the Republican Party, I don't know how we could be conservative even at a grassroots level. And that's what we as a Republican Party, after a loss in 2024, have to go back to the drawing table and start to realize. What gave us our character on the Republican side was our values, was the fact that we were the adults in the room, the fact that we shielded children from sexuality and sexual suggestion, the fact that we were fiscal conservatives that cared about the continuity of our country. I mean, we've lost those values. We've lost them all. So if we've lost those values, what separates us from the Democrats at this point? Anyway, Menno Ray, I thought this was True Capitalist Radio, not true. Dude, I am not a Democrat shill. Shut up. Anyway, Vox Artificials, now click the favorability of Harris. All right, let's take a look at that. Let's do it. Favorability of Harris, 51 disapprove. All right, so it's about the same shit. It's about the same shit. That's why I'm saying, Vox, the running mate is everything for Kamala Harris. And if she picks a progressive, she's done. If she picks somebody who's centrist, like a Joe Manchin or a potential Republican candidate, I think that she may have a shoe in. All right, anyway, thank you for having me click both of them. I'm glad you're interested there, Vox. Trolly bastard, starting to learn something, all right? Anyway, let's continue, man. We're continuing.
I'd buy that.
Hold on, let me get to some of these buy me a coffees here, all right? My apologies. All right, we got a lot of these buy me a coffees coming in. Is something wrong with donation alerts? I'm glad there's no text-to-speech. I'm not fucking around. All right, let's get to driving or working or at the bar. Now, hold on, driving or working at the bar. We got a couple of Rumble rants. Another question, will the election impact the stock market in any way? It may in the short term, but not in the long term. Not in the long term, in my opinion. Maybe if Trump is elected, there may be a little bit more buying going on because Trump wants a weaker dollar. He's admitted it. But that's about it. Vox Artificials, problems with the Dems. They don't have an obvious star candidate for VP. Well, I just think they need to just go after somebody that'll shock the system a little bit. People are suckers for bipartisanship, man. But let's see what they do. All right, I mean, this is the Democrats' pickle. Anyway, driving or working at the bar, usually when the Democrats all come to make a statement like with COVID, they're all in lockstep, and usually the first few sentences are exactly the same. Same thing with choosing candidates. We usually rally behind the singular person. That did not happen this time around. When Biden announced Harris, the Clintons and a few other Democrats rallied behind her, but the Obamas didn't. So there might be a hell of a lot DNC coming around. Like you're talking about the convention. We're the Obamas. Where the Obamas are going to pick their guy in, the Clintons are going to really get behind Harris. Also, if you take a chance to look at the news of Zuckerberg today, he had a video of him in a business suit surfing and waving an American flag. Actually, I think that's from July 4th, by the way. And he just did an interview where he called President Trump a badass. Now, driving or working or at the bar actually covered this on the last show. And I suggested that that is yet another element showing the influence of Peter Thiel. Because remember, I mean, let me refresh your memory if you don't want to go back to the other show. And hey, what's up, Tretchman? I'll get to you in a minute. Lest we forget that Trump in March called Facebook an enemy of the people. Because there was a lot of evidence that Facebook did a lot of things nefarious in the 2020 election against Trump. So that's why he's calling him an enemy of the people. All right. Now, miraculously, after Peter Thiel and the PayPal mafia come in and take control of the Republican Party, now you've got Zuckerberg coming out here and saying this. Put the PC shot on. Look at this.
I've done some stuff personally in the past. I'm not planning on doing that this time. And that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, I mean, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. I mean, the historic events over the last, like over the weekend. And I mean, on a personal note, it's, you know, I mean, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But
now, why would he say that? Why would he say that miraculously after putting all this time, effort, and energy and money? Why the hell did he say that? Because Peter Thiel funded Facebook, for fuck's sake. Take a look at this. Peter Thiel to step down from the board of Facebook, parent Meta. Thiel was an early investor in Facebook. So this goes to show you how powerful Peter Thiel is, dude. All right, this goes to show you how powerful he is, that he can change people's minds. I mean, hell, look at what he did to J.D. Vance. He was an anti-Trumper up until 2 years ago. So, I mean, very interesting what's going on here. And Vox Artificials, Zuck is trying to cozy up with the Thiel faction. Vance is on record saying Meta should have been broken up, and Google too. Well, why do you think Vance is saying that? You know, J.D. Vance, you know, he's trying to say that he wants to rein in big tech. But what do I tell you? Every time the government says that they want regulation, they're not trying to regulate anything to protect you. They're trying to protect that small group of corporations or entities or people from getting any other competition. All right? So whenever you hear J.D. Vance talking about, oh, he wants to rein in big tech, what he wants to do is use the government to regulate Silicon Valley in order for the PayPal mafia to not have any competition in that industry. And you want to know a good example of this? Take a look at the cigarette industry. All right? Oh, we're regulating the cigarette industry. We're trying to keep people safe. Are you fucking kidding me? They have protected the biggest 3 top branded cigarette companies ever since this massive regulation. And did those cigarette companies stop making billions and billions of dollars? No. No, they didn't. So always be cautious when you hear somebody saying that we need to regulate this or regulate that. Anyway, let me continue on with the commentary here on the domestic political front. We talked about how Donald Trump's favorability poll doesn't look good, but neither does Kamala Harris. His chances of winning have declined post-assassination attempt because of the dropping out of Joe Biden. And now, take a look at this. Words are coming back around to haunt Donald Trump once again. Take a look at this. Dems mock Trump as being too old to run, like he did to Biden. So let me tell you, the political axes are grinding, and they're swinging, and it's no holes barred, baby. I'm telling you, look, in my opinion, because this PayPal mafia is making such an audacious move, don't be surprised if billionaires just miraculously start ending up unalive. All right, let's just put it that way. Because, I mean, these are some very abrasive moves being conducted by Thiel, by Musk, by Sachs, and everybody else. This is very abrasive. So this is a battle of the billionaires, and they're using our political system to do it. And Vox Artificials, there are 2 factions of big tech fighting over who gets influence over the next administration, and it's pretty clear which one won the Republican side of things. Yeah, of course, it's Thiel, it's Musk, it's Sachs, and everybody else they've recruited from Silicon Valley. And Five Finger Prostate Punch, if they can monopolize tech, what else can they monopolize? Well, I mean, they can monopolize almost anything, dude. These guys are worth so much money and they have so much influence. I don't think that there has been billionaires that have bigger influences on the spy sector and the black operations sector of our government. I mean, not only is Peter Thiel utilizing the AI to give the CIA all its metadata and shit, I mean, Musk himself, I mean, take a look at this. I mean, I showed this on the last show. Musk, SpaceX, forges tighter links with U.S. spy and military agencies. All right, so let me tell you something, man. These are big-time guys here. These are guys that are doing shit with all the alphabet letter agencies. They're providing the technology. These are powerful fucks. And they're now trying to assert their vulgar display of power, in my personal opinion. All right? And remember, Elon Musk wasn't even down with Trump. All right? He didn't even like Trump. And now, miraculously, take a look at this. All right? He's going to pledge $180 million to elect Donald Trump. Where the hell did this come from? Because his master, because I think that, believe it or not, Peter Thiel controls Elon Musk. I think Peter Thiel is a fucking very powerful motherfucker. And it's obvious in the actions, and it's obvious in the things that he has done, in my personal view. He's going to give $45 million a month to Donald Trump until the election's finished. And Donald Trump made notice of that, as a matter of fact. He commented on that in his recent rally, which I think is interesting. Anyway, let me take a couple more of these Buy Me a Coffees. El Foxo Loco, are you proud of me? I'm a full-time electrical and automation engineer. Well, congrats. I spend the rest of my time doing drugs while editing your show. Well, great off time. Oh, and I have a lot of lasers. One that is of you Americans aren't free enough to own. Oh, well, great. You can move with me, shit dick. Can I co-host? No and no. And hold on, who else do we got? We got Urinator with a Rumble rant. So who controlled you when you shilled for Krispy Kreme? Well, listen, I didn't want anyone that was going to be so polarizing because I knew this was going to happen. I mean, we didn't really have anybody in the Republican side either, which was sad. Five Finger Prostate Punch, would this be a big step towards internet regulations? Yes. I mean, just all the freedom that you have right now, it's all going to come to an end. And let me tell you, it's going to come to an end because of AI, and it's going to be a very totalitarian future for each and every one of you. And we're all going to be controlled by autonomous drones, autonomous robots. It is not good. It does not look good. All right, it does not look good. Anyway, J-Seb, Ghost, I'm officially throwing my hat in for co-host. Fuck you, all right? Shut up, J-Seb, all right? No one is going to co-host my fucking show, you idiot, all right? I get it. You stupid idiots are out here pissed off because I'm not doing a ghost show. How about pissing off? How about that shit? Instead of getting pissed off, how about pissing off? Now, while I'm over here highlighting the coup that's happening in the GOP, MAGA now, take a look at this. They're crying coup. They're crying coup. And they're crying coup that what's happening in the Democrat side is a coup.
I'd buy that for
all right,
$1.
that's what they're talking about. Now, all of a sudden, all right, now all of a sudden the MAGA side is saying there's a coup going on the Democrat side without even knowing, not even being aware enough to understand that there was one conducted on their party. Really sad, man. And look, this is unprecedented what's happening here in our presidential election. I mean, the way they're choosing the nominee over there on the Democrat side is not democratic. And how Trump was forced to pick this unknown lover boy of Peter Thiel, a.k.a. J.D. Vance, is proof that Trump is doing things against his will. Why the hell would this guy, Donald Trump, being the egotistical maniac that he is going to choose somebody that hated him up until 2 years ago? It's because he's being forced to do so. He's being forced to do so. Anubis, you were for DeSantis heavy, and let me tell you something right now. The reason I kind of backed off from DeSantis was because this guy was doing things that proved that he wasn't the necessarily competent executive that he was out there in Florida. One of which was passing that ridiculous school bill which allowed Prager University, a.k.a. Dennis Prager's organization, to actually be a school vendor in the public schools over there in Florida. So, I mean, give me a break. When he started doing shit like that, you know, when he started making that bill that you can't talk against Jewish people or Israel in Florida, I mean, that's when I was like, all right, that's enough. All right, come on, man. But anyway, let's get back to this. Trump campaign thinks there's a coup going on the Democratic side, not knowing there was one on their side. And let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that assassination attempt, because we've got more developments coming out. All right? Put the PC shot on. The head of the Secret Service testified in front of Congress today, and this bitch was like Phil Ivey on a heads-up match for a $2 million cash on the table. This bitch didn't move. I mean, she was emotionless. She didn't say anything. She refused to say anything. She took a tongue lashing. This Cheadle broad, the head of Secret Service, she took a tongue lashing from these Congress folks, and she acted like she was holding a pair of aces in a fucking Texas Hold'em match. I mean, didn't budge, didn't smile, didn't wince. Unbelievable. You could tell she's definitely a federal bureaucrat. Let's put it that way. Five-finger prostate punch. That might not be a bad idea, Ghost. Why don't you have a 5-10 minute segment of viewers giving us a mini show? No, fuck you. All right, just shut up. All right? Just shut the hell up. But anyway, we have found out that the Secret Service acknowledges denying some past requests by Trump's campaign for tighter security. So everything's starting to come out that it's either gross and or criminal negligence on the Secret Service side, and the head of the Secret Service had absolutely nothing to say. Absolutely nothing to say. And Eddie324758 said, I'd love to give Lauren Boebert a tongue lashing. You're a sick prick. And Vox Artificial, interesting article about Vance thoughts on breaking up big tech. Yeah, I understand that he wants to use antitrust to break up big tech, but that's only because he wants Thiel, he wants Musk, Sachs, all these people to be the overlords of Silicon Valley. Remember, what Vance wants to do is break up these conglomerations that don't necessarily have an owner, that just have stockholders and have these, cellular corporate mechanisms that are ownerless. He wants to make sure that Elon Musk, who's an owner of X, who's an owner of SpaceX, who's an owner of Tesla, all right, he wants to make sure that Peter Thiel, who's an owner of Palantir and an owner of a private investor in Facebook and all these other, these are the guys that are going to be the overlords of Silicon Valley, and they're making a move via our political system in order for them to do so. But anyway, once again, the Secret Service acknowledges denying some past requests by Trump's campaign, and that's very interesting because a lot of things were kind of unearthed here in the past 48 hours. A lot of things have been unearthed. Now, first thing is first. The injury of Trump has finally now come out. Ronnie Jackson, which is now a congressman, which used to be the former president's physician back when he was 45, President 45, he's come out and released some statements. Did y'all see this? Oh, take a look at this. All right. Trump campaign releases letter on his injury, treatment after a week after the assassination attempt. Now, folks, brace this. No stitches. No stitches. It's going to heal on its own, and it's just a little nick. Now, folks, that's kind of hard for me to believe, okay, that it's just this little nick with no kind of sutures needed. No kind of sutures needed. That's what the report said. That's why the guy's going out with a little Band-Aid now. Unbelievable. And the thing is that there should be some tearing of that ear. I don't know if y'all been searching GunTube, but GunTube has been doing ballistic tests, of course, on these the gel dummy heads. And every time they try to replicate that shot, it takes off a pretty good chunk of the cartilage. It takes off a pretty good chunk of the ear. So I'm telling you, I personally believe that, look, you believe what you want to believe. If you believe that he was really shot at by some culprit within the deep state or some whacked out lone gunman, whatever the case might be, that's fine. But in my opinion, it just seems to me that Trump may have known that this was going to be a coordinated effort and may have went along with it, and his own people. And remember, I showed you that, he's being backed by Peter Thiel. He's being backed by Musk. I mean, these are guys that are the technological operators of the tools of the spy state that have influence over these three-letter agencies. You don't think they have the ability to do this? And what happened is that they shot an innocent bystander. Actually, they shot a couple of innocent bystanders in this deal in order to hold this over the head of Trump, because Trump thought that once they pulled this off, that he would just ride right into the White House and be a totalitarian dictator. That's not what happened. Now, whether you believe it was people within his own organization that did it, whether it was the deep state, whether it was a coordinated effort, regardless of what it is, he is now compromised. And let me tell you, all you have to do is take a look at this selection of his vice presidential candidate to show that this is a compromised man. And take a look at how he was acting at the RNC. And the fact that this guy has no injury outside of a little nick on his ear, given he was shot at with an AR-15 variant that shows that one of the bullets in question went through like 3 people. And by the way, Capitoli consequently got shot, and he was sitting on the other side of Trump. Not on the side in which the building that was facing the 182-100-yard trajectory of Trump. No, the other side of Trump. So that is another anomaly that nobody seems to want to discuss. That the folks that got shot on the side of which supposedly that Crooks kid was on top of that building, the shot that supposedly grazed Trump hit 3 people and busted a hydraulic system of some crane or some shit. And yet Capitoli got shot, and he was on the opposite direction. So as I've stated, there's more than one shooter. I think there's 3 shooters, but I'm not the only one saying that now. All right? I'm not the only one saying that. I'm going to say that in a minute. A 5-finger prostate punch. I'm not trolling. It'll give us some insight. Could you even showcase the diverse knowledge from people of TCR? No. Camaro RS09, I stopped caring for DeSantis the moment he signed HB 269. Also, beep his Twitter cult group that just whined and bitch all day. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. I hear you there, Camaro. I hear you. Animus, do you still think that the Secret Service had to use secret decoding software that's not even public to get to Tom's phone? How can you be a 20-year-old kid and get something like that unless you're backed by some nefarious shit? Well, there's a lot of questions about the Crooks kid. Let's not go there, but there's a lot of questions, all right? And then we got Urinator, Dr. Ghost, Trailer Park University. Yeah, shut up, asshole. Anyway, once again, Trump, only injury is a little nick on his ear, doesn't even need stitches, and it's already healing to the point where he just needs a little Band-Aid like he cut himself shaving, all right? Now, take a look at this. There was testimony today by the Secret Service head, Cheadle, and this person admitted that the Secret Service...
I'd buy that for $1.
Hey, cheers to you. Biden isn't called into a press conference? All right, well, hey, let's take a look. Anyway, U.S. Secret Service director admits that Trump's shooting is an operational failure. And if you looked at the testimony, she absolutely did not, and I repeat, did not say a damn thing. Didn't say anything. Operational failure is an understatement. I think it's criminal negligence at the very least. And hold on, Biden is just got called into a press conference, so thank you to someone for hooking this up. Let's take a look. Biden. All right, let's take a look at this. Is this for real here? Biden confirms he'll be out there in the campaigning for Kamala. All right, let's take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Breaking news here. Let's play it. Here it is.
By the way, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be out there in the campaign with her, with Kamala. I'm going to be working like hell, both as a sitting president, getting legislation passed, as well as
was he
in
talking on the phone?
You know, what we still need to save this democracy. And Trump is still a danger to the community. He's a danger to the nation. And by the way, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be out there in the campaign with her.
I mean, that sounded like an AI voice from hell, dude. Are you kidding me? I thought they were going to prop him up and bring him out here. That sounded like a fucking AI voice from hell. Oh my God, dude. Ew, Jesus Christ. Even the AI is slurring. Jesus Christ. Dude, this is unprecedented, what's happening here to our government. You all know this, right? This is unprecedented. That's why I'm trying to tell everybody that we need to start taking shit serious out here. Something is going afoot in both parties, and it doesn't benefit you or me. It benefits a small group of people. And Vox Artificial said, who croaks first, Biden or Carter? All right, well, I don't want to say that. That's horrible. But once again, the Secret Service director admitted in front of Congress today that Trump shooting was an operational failure. And I think that's an understatement. But you know what? Maybe it wasn't. Did y'all take a look at this? Did y'all see this? Have y'all heard about this infamous guy in the gray suit? Have y'all heard about this guy? He's been talked about. Put the PC shut on. Let's go back to the scene here. And this infamous guy in the gray suit. Now, he was out there acting as if he was in control of the whole operation out there, and nobody knows who he was. I mean, this was a big mystery around the internet because look at him. He's taking charge. So, believe it or not, you did have a senator. Senator Ron Johnson, and believe it or not, that's who we need on this situation. If we really want to get down to anything, we need a senator that has the authority to be able to investigate and call for independent investigations in order to get to what's happening. Now, who was this guy in the gray suit? Well, Ron Johnson is about to tell you, all right? He said this on the Sunday morning show on Fox News with Maria Bartiromo, some unbelievable revelations, and this is only on his preliminary investigation. Take a look at this. Unbelievable. Play it.
You sent a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland, Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and Director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, about this epic failure of security. Can you walk us through what you'd like to see and your preliminary findings of your investigation, which has now become bipartisan? Is that correct?
Correct. I spoke with Chairman Blumenthal.
By the way, all these people are cooperating with each other because a lack of operation when it comes to the protection of leadership affects each and every one of these Congress people, and they're concerned that if they can get to Donald Trump, that they can get to them. So now you're getting bipartisan with all this, but listen to what Johnson has come up with in his investigation.
Chairman of the Permanent Subcommittee Investigation, I'm the ranking member. He completely agrees with me that we must start doing transcribed interviews with all the witnesses now while memories are fresh. So that's really good news from my standpoint. My staff immediately started reaching out to local law enforcement. We've gathered a fair amount of information. Again, we're just scratching the surface. But a couple of things that we found out. For example, the Secret Service did not even attend the 9 o'clock security meeting with local law enforcement. Well put in charge.
Now, they didn't attend the law enforcement 9 o'clock meeting. Now, that suggests to me that there's something nefarious afoot. Because what this is a bureaucrat telling a wing of the Secret Service not to attend this meeting so it can bestow the responsibility of whatever happens that day on these local officers, which seems to be the MO of the Secret Service at this point in time. Play it.
The Butler County law enforcement to coordinate things. Law enforcement wasn't even on the same channel.
So that was just to be clear, Senator, that was a 9 a.m. meeting on July 13th, the day of the shooting.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, Secret Service had been there for site visits, weren't even there. Kind of turned over some of the outer perimeter stuff to local law enforcement. They weren't even on the same security channel. So the sniper and SWAT teams weren't on the same channel as the patrol officers, and they weren't on the same channel as Secret Service. So they had to relay things. One of the things we found out is that we've got a more detailed timeline. This picture is now on the internet, but a photo was taken by the local sniper team in the AGR building at 5:14 of Crooks.
Now, did you hear that? Now, the people that were in the building, because believe it or not, you had a local PD team in that AGR building that the shooter, Crooks, supposedly shot Trump from. There were officers inside that building that the shooter was on top of. And the local PD saw crooks, or at least somebody apparently to be crooks, walking around out there. They had the wherewithal to snap a picture. That's why you have that initial picture with that, that Demolition Ranch shirt that shows Crook with that Demolition Ranch shirt. That's where we get it. We get it from one of the officers that saw him and snapped a picture, and it was an hour before Trump went on stage.
So again, we had pictures of this guy. Why wasn't he intercepted? There's so many unanswered questions here.
The pictures were taken at 5:14, and he was shot at 6:11.
Correct.
Did you hear that? The pictures of Crooks was taken by an officer inside the building that he was on top of, that he eventually was on top of and allegedly shot Trump with. He was taken a picture of by one of those officers. And there was an hour from when that picture was snapped of Crooks to when the first shots were fired. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
And again, we've got a more so I'm going to be issuing a preliminary report. It's preliminary. It's just scratching the surface. We're primarily going to release that report to solicit more eyewitness testimony. If you took video, save it. Make a backup copy. We can glean things in terms of audio and in terms of where the shots came from. Was it one rifle? Was it more than one? I've seen some pretty interesting video on the internet by experts that certainly calls into question what the FBI is telling us about a single shooter. Again, we're only just beginning this, but it is so important that people who saw things, that have information, they preserve it, they memorialize what they saw, because memories change over time. They can be influenced. So it's good news on a bipartisan basis. Chairman Blumenthal and I are dedicated to taking transcribed interviews with law enforcement and public, just members of the general public that were at that rally. No matter how insignificant your piece of information might be, it might lend to provide the full story of what happened, because the American public needs to understand what happened here. So
I know that, I tweeted out yesterday the fact that you're doing this bipartisan investigation, and I put on your email. You have an email that you want people to send information to, and I know that you'll tweet that later. But I got to get to this. After the shooter was taken down by Secret Service, the local law enforcement, and I know this from some of your preliminary comments, your preliminary findings, started taking pictures of the dead body, right? Can you tell us what happened then?
Now listen to this.
So that sniper team that was in the AGR building, they're the first ones that went up on the roof. They were the first to encounter the dead assassin at that point in time. Later on, other people joined them, and somebody told them to send the pictures they had taken to an ATF agent.
Now, did you hear that? Somebody took charge in there and told these local officers that went up there and took a picture of the body after it had been shot. Somebody took charge and told these officers to send the pictures to the ATF. And what you're going to find out, folks, is that the ATF, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms bureaucracy, was at this event. God knows why. I mean, lest we forget, the last time we heard about the ATF pulling off any kind of shit like this was Waco. And I'll tell you the truth about Waco in a second. But once again, what the hell is the ATF doing out there? What's going on? And that was the guy in the gray suit. The guy in the gray suit was ATF, taking control, telling the officers to forward the pictures they had to some phone number. I mean, just listen to what Johnson has uncovered here. Listen to this. Play it.
Which I think is very strange. And we called up that ATF agent. That individual said that he was with ATF, and now he's gone dark. We've also reached out to the Secret Service agents in charge on the ground. All we're getting there is the runaround. So we are getting information from...
Now, the guy in the gray suit, he's been identified by Ron Johnson in his investigation. He's gone dark. All right, the Secret Service agents, they're not saying anything.
local law enforcement, and we appreciate that. But unfortunately, federal law enforcement agents, they're just saying, well, go through your congressional liaison. Again, that's going to be unacceptable. I wish I could rely and have faith in the FBI and the Secret Service to do a truthful accounting of this, but that's not been my experience with the Russian collusion hoax, and for years dealing with federal law enforcement. We need completely separate and independent investigations, and it has to start now.
So are you questioning whether or not there was a second shooter? Is that what you're questioning? Or if the shooter had a different gun?
Now they're starting. Now, all of a sudden, it's all starting to come out now that there were multiple shooters, like I've always said. All right? Multiple shooters. We have eyewitnesses saying that they saw a shooter on top of the water tower. We've got another witness that said that there was a shooter behind some fence on top of whoever was on top of that building. So there was a total of 11 shots. We talked about it on a couple of shows ago. Now it's all starting to come clear.
I saw an extremely convincing video online. I know it's all over the place. There were 3 distinct shots early on, followed by another 5 in more staccato, more rapidly fired, and then the final one, which we believe took the shooter out. How do you explain that? I don't know. I'm not an expert. But the individual putting that video out says it clearly shows that there are at least 3 different weapons fired that day. Again, I don't know, but we can't trust the FBI and the Secret Service to do an honest and open and transparent investigation. That's just a very sad fact. So we've got to rely on other sources independent to really find out what the truth of the matter was on Saturday, July 13th.
So let me go back to what happened after the shooter is dead. You just mentioned somebody goes up. So this is the guy in the suit who walks up the ladder, goes to
the guy in the suit. Do you understand? The guy in the suit. All right, yeah, whatever, J-Sev. I'll get to you in a minute. This is where you've got Ron Johnson identifying the guy in the gray suit as ATF. Play it.
And tells the locals, send those pictures to this cell phone. Who was that person?
Well, again, I'm not sure that was the guy. I think another county law enforcement gave the number to the other county law enforcement, the snipers, to send the text. Some guy in a suit walks up the ladder. They believe you Secret Service. I'm not sure whether they gave credentials, but that's part of again, Maria, this is so preliminary. I'm issuing this. I'm providing this information, a much more detailed timeline to prompt others to come forward. We need to complete this picture. We have a lot of puzzle pieces to fill in here.
Is it odd to you that the locals were being told to send the pictures to the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency, ATF? Where does ATF come in?
It's very odd. The oddity starts with the fact that local law enforcement were just tasked with securing the perimeter, told to go cover that AGR building, not really told where to set up, so they set up on the second floor. They went to that AGR building at 10:30 in the morning. So they were stationed there well in advance. They noticed this suspicious character at 5:10. They took a photo of him at 5:14. The president was shot at 6:11. So again, an hour has passed. Again, they don't communicate. They didn't have communication same channels with their law enforcement patrol officers. They weren't in communication with the Secret Service other than going through the Butler County Communication Center. So again, it's everything you would assume about Secret Service protection of a former president was not true. It didn't happen. It's just baffling to me.
And what the ATF was doing there should be a cause for concern of everybody, because this goes on goes outside the purview of what these fucking ATF agents are supposed to be going through, in my opinion. All right. Anyway, look, before we get to anything else, I just think that we need to go and take a look at some of these buy me a coffees here. We got J-Sev. Oh, no, I already said J-Sev's there. Tretchman, what's up, dude? He said, hey, Ghost, I was just wondering how the shakeup in politics is going to affect the Federal Reserve activity towards the year's end. I still think that there is cuts after the election. I think that there's going to be a cut in November and December. I wrote about it on Ghost.report and in the X article section, but I'm still going with that assessment. My immediate thought is that there will be a tremendous pressure on Powell now to cut rates in order to keep the market high, since a downturn always looks worse for the party in power. Now, I think that we're probably going to continue. We're not going to see a massive dip. Like, we're not going to see 30%, 40% off the market before the election. If anything, it's going to happen after the election. This is exactly what happened after Obama's election. Take a look at the timeline of what happened back then. Remember that during the campaign trail of 2008, John McCain and Barack Obama had to go back to a special session of Congress in like September of 2008 in order for them to vote on some kind of deal to keep the banks going. All right, so, and that wasn't even the beginning of the crash. I mean, the crash happened after 2009. I remember it vividly. February 2009 is when everybody felt the crash. Everybody. It was bad. Anyway, what else do you say? Oh, yeah. But what are your thoughts on the matter? Also, can you talk about Netanyahu? I'm actually going to talk about him later on, man. Cheers to Tretchman, and thank you for listening, man. And we got Gino X 1987. One thing you aren't talking about, people are easily impressed and easily manipulated. A photo of Trump pumping his fist behind an American flag is enough to sway millions on that photo alone. I think that the momentum was there, Gino. I really do. But that horrific Republican National Convention, I think, ruined any momentum for Trump. And I think Trump hoped that Biden would stay in. And now that he's not, I think Trump is a little petrified because I don't think he does well against a woman candidate. I mean, especially in this polarizing age of women being obsessed about this abortion issue. And then you've got the Republicans continuing to hound on it, even though Roe v. Wade is reversed. But anyway, they don't care about what his policies are. They just take one look at the picture and think that man is badass and vote purely on that alone. Bread and circus show. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get where you're coming from, Gino, but I don't think people really appreciated what happened at the RNC. There was a bunch of shit that many people who have been lifelong Republicans were perplexed about. I mean, first of all, the Hulkster, you know, and that was the only sign of joy that we saw on the face of Trump throughout that whole event, is when the Hulkster came out and ripped his shirt. And then right before the president, or the ex-president, was going to talk at the RNC, they had Kid Rock giving a fucking concert, for Christ's sake. Kid Rock. So, I don't know. Most Republicans don't like that kind of shit, but, you know, who knows? I mean, Mad Thad seems to think that, I don't know, he's the new Republican or something. Vox Artificial, you're overestimating how the average voters care about or how much the average voter cares about the RNC. I'd wager the overwhelming majority didn't even watch a minute of it. Well, that's because you're a Canuck. And because you didn't watch a minute of it doesn't mean they didn't. There was an average of almost 20 million people that watched today. I think there was like 40 million people that watched Trump talk. I mean, I think that everybody takes the convention serious. It's the party's way of not only selling the candidate, but selling other candidates that are running for other districts and Senate seats and shit. So... And yeah, there was a lot of people watching Trump. It's just Trump didn't give a very inspirational speech. We talked about it on the last TCR. We compared this speech to the 2016 speech. And I just think Trump looks defeated. He looks like he's, doing something against his will, in my opinion. And we already took a look at that one. We think that's an AI Biden. And JSEV, just a reminder, Fox News argued in court that they are entertainment media and no one sane would take them serious. Well, I mean, I think they were referring to the talking heads that were talking against Dominion voting machines. I think they were making reference to that. They were talking about Tucker Carlson and these late night talking head folks like Sean Hannity, that sort of thing. And we got Eddie 324758. So a quarter of a half of the amount of people who voted him in just proved Vox correct. What the hell does that mean? I don't even know what the hell that means, Eddie. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Once again, the guy in the gray suit validated as ATF. And that should really kind of terrify everybody. Let's just put it that way. But look, I guess we're moving past that. Trump is still alive, and he is running, and he chose J.D. Vance as his running mate. And this goes to show you that Trump is compromised, man. I mean, take a look at this. J.D. Vance is confusing evolution from liberal touchstone to MAGA superstar. Trump's vice presidential pick seen as relatable for ties to rural white poor, but some say his book has sanitized his past. And of course it has. I mean, this guy, the way his meteoric rise to power, it reminds me a lot of Barack Obama. Nobody had ever heard of Barack Obama up until the 2004 Democratic National Convention, when he spoke right before John Kerry, who was the presidential nominee, believe it or not, for the DNC. That speech catapulted Barack Obama into the person that he was, and then he eventually became the president. And it just reminds me a lot of J.D. Vance. I mean, J.D. Vance wrote his own narrative. So did Obama. All right? And in that narrative, he talks about all the impoverished and all the bad things, and my mom was a drug addict and all the same shit. And as a matter of fact, I mean, J.D. Vance thought he was gay at one point in time, which, I mean, I think is, kind of goes without saying. But let me read you that excerpt. I did read it, unfortunately, last night on the Ghost Show, and they're like, save it for TCR, Boomer. So let me go ahead and read this excerpt, because this comes out of J.D. Vance's own book, Hillbilly Elegy, and I tweeted it here. Put the PC shot on. Now, here it is, okay? Here's a snippet, and it says, all of this talk about Christians who weren't Christian enough, secularists indoctrinating our youth, art exhibits insulting our faith, and the persecution by the elites made the world a scary foreign place. Take gay rights, a particularly hot topic amongst conservative Protestants. I'll never forget the time I convinced myself I was gay. I was 8 or 9, maybe younger, and I stumbled upon a broadcast by some fire and brimstone preacher. The man spoke about the evils of homosexuals and how they've infiltrated our society and how we were destined for hell they were destined for hell if they didn't repent. At the time, the only thing I knew about gay men was that they preferred men to women. This described me perfectly. I dislike girls, and my best friend in the world was my buddy Billy. Oh no, I'm going to hell. I broached this issue with my mama, confessing that I was gay and I was worried that I would burn in hell, and she said, don't be a fucking idiot. How would you know that you're gay? And I explained my thought process, and Mama chuckled and seemed to consider how she might explain to a boy my age. Finally, she asked, JD, do you want to suck dicks? I was flabbergasted. Why would someone want to do that? She repeated herself, and I said, of course not. Then she said, you're not gay, and even if you did want to suck dicks, it would be okay. God would still love you. That settled the matter. Apparently, I didn't have to worry about being gay anymore. Now that I'm older, I recognize the profundity of her sentiment. Gay people, though unfamiliar, threaten nothing about Mama's being. There were more important things for a Christian to worry about. So there you go. There is, once again, this is the vice presidential nominee of Donald Trump. And then we wonder why we had the kind of RNC convention that we had here last week. Come on, man. And Five Finger Prostate Punch with a rumble rant. Is that an excerpt of Winston Fujimori's diary? Come on, man. We don't have to say all that. But anyway, that's J.D. Vance, all right? That's was in his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. I mean, what else do we need to know about this guy, huh? Let's go to 55 things that we need to know about J.D. Vance from Politico, and let's take a look at this, all right? Donald Trump's pick for vice president made a 180-degree turn from fierce critic to bulldog surrogate for the former president. All right? So let's go to the 55 things. Number 1, I'll be the first to admit that I've accomplished nothing great in life. So there it is right there. There it is right there, and he wrote that in his stupid fucking narrative right there. I'll have to admit, I haven't accomplished nothing great in life, and that's because everything was given to him by Peter Thiel. All right? All the success that J.D. Vance has was because of Peter Thiel. And by the way, 2015, 2 years after graduating from Yale Law School, Vance joined Mithril Capital, a venture capital firm run by Silicon Valley juggernaut Peter Thiel. And where did J.D. Vance meet Peter Thiel? He met him after a lecture Peter Thiel gave at Yale University, and ever since then, they were, quote, friends ever since. And if you take a look, I mean, Thiel has made all these donations and has given J.D. Vance everything. Let's go number 3. In 2016, he announced his plans to move back to Ohio from California to start Our Ohio Renewal, a nonprofit dedicated to making things easier for disadvantaged children. Believe it or not, this was a complete farce. All right? They paid more for managerial fees and salaries than they did to the actual nonprofit cause. And it was pure for show to make it look as if J.D. Vance actually gave a shit. Look up Our Ohio Renewal and you'll see what I'm talking about. In November of 2022, he was elected to the United States Senate from Ohio with help of over $10 million of donations from Peter Thiel. The first time he ever put himself in public office. So he literally got bought into the Senate by Peter Thiel. Let's go to number 5. On Monday, he was named Trump's running mate. Number 6, reflecting his first encounter with Thiel, here it is, in 2011, Vance wrote, Thiel articulated a feeling that I was obsessed with, achievement in itself, not an end to something meaningful, but to win a social competition. My worry that I had prioritized striving over character took on a heightened significance. Striving for what? Why am I striving over my character? But I need to win social competition. Yeah, right. And he probably were his power bottom, if you want my personal opinion. Why does anybody give millions and millions of dollars to somebody because they're friends? All right? Give me a fucking break. And by the way, his real name, J.D. Vance, is James Donald Bowman. James Donald Bowman. As a matter of fact, he has gone by several different aliases if you go back into his background. But he was born on August 2nd, 1984, in Middleton, Ohio, an industrial city 30 miles north of Cincinnati. His maternal grandparents, Jim and Bonnie Vance, known as Paw Paw and Mama, moved to Middleton in the late 40s from Jackson, Kentucky. All right? Jim was 16, Bonnie was 13, and pregnant with Jim's child. They were unmarried at the time. Let's go to 9. Vance is a descendant of the hillbilly royalty from his father's side. His grandfather is a distant cousin, also named Jim Vance, married to the Hatfield family, and is rumored to have committed the murder that instigated the legendary Hatfield-McCoy feud. Number 10, Vance's biological parents, Donald Bowman and Bev Vance, divorced when he was a toddler. He was later adopted by his mother's new husband, Bob Hamill, and changed his name to James David Hamill. And then he changed his name to J.D. So that's what I'm telling you. This guy's had a lot of names. Who else had a lot of names? Barack Obama, a.k.a. Barry Soetoro. Remember that shit? I mean, this guy reads like Obama. Number 11, Bev and Bob later divorced, and Bev struggled with drug addiction. You know, Vance was raised primarily by his grandparents, who were, he wrote, in Hillbilly Elegy, without question or qualification, the best thing that ever happened to me. And people are asking, Barry Soetoro, that's fucking Barack Obama's real name, dude. Look it up. All right? Barack Obama is not his fucking real name. You remember that fucking Netflix movie? Remember? How did they bill it? How did they advertise it? First you've met Barack, now meet Barry. Fucking idiots. Fucking Barack Obama's not even a real guy, man. It's a fucking fake fucking name, fake persona. All right? His name was Barry fucking Soetoro. Anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about here. Mama and Pawpaw were Union Democrats, so that should tell you something. Number 13, growing up, Vance spent his summer vacations visiting his great-grandmother and extended family in Jackson. That's in Kentucky. Number 14, to understand me, you must understand that I am Scottish-Irish hillbilly at heart. He wrote in Hillbilly Elegy. This Scotch-Irish legacy entailed many good traits, but also many bad ones. Are you sure you're Scotch-Irish? That last name Bowman is interesting. Number 15, after graduating from Middleton High School in 2003, he enlisted in the Marine Corps and served in Iraq as a corporal with public affairs section of the 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing. I mean, he was a writer for Stars and Stripes, okay? Come on, Maine, all right? I mean, he still served, but he was a writer for Stars and Stripes. Number 16, he graduated from the Ohio State University with a degree in political science and philosophy before enrolling in Yale in 2010. While at Yale, he attended a talk by Peter Thiel about technology stagnation and the decline of the American elites. He saw two trends, quote, as connected. Vance later recalled of his first encounter with Thiel. If technological innovation were actually driving real prosperity, our elites wouldn't feel increasingly competitive with one another over a dwindling number of prestigious outcomes. Vance has called Thiel's talk the most significant moment of his time at Yale. Jesus Christ. Fuck you, feminist socialist. I'm not fucking acknowledging that rumble rant, you piece of crap. Number 19, another significant moment of his time at Yale, meeting Usha, I don't know how to fucking pronounce her last name, his future wife and mother of his 3 children. All right? The couple were married in 2014 and held a separate ceremony where they were blessed by a Hindu pundit. Chucka Curry, I think is her name, went on to clerk for the Supreme Court Justice John Roberts and then D.C. Circuit Judge Brett Kavanaugh. So that's very interesting. Vance's memoir, Hillbilly Effigy, was published on June 28, 2016. The book argued that the decline of the post-industrial America was due in large part to the social pathologies of the white working class rather than the decline of the industrial economy of the United States. Quote, there is a lack of agency here in Middleton, a feeling that you have little control over your life, and a willingness to blame everyone else but yourself. Number 22, in a review of the New York Times, called the book a compassionate, discerning sociological analysis of the white underclass that has helped drive the politics of rebellion, particularly in the ascent of Donald J. Trump. The American Conservative praised it as a powerful new memoir, uncovers America many do not see. The New Republican trashed it. All right? Little more than a list of myths about welfare queens repackaged as, as primer on the working class. That's pretty harsh. During the 2016 campaign, Vance emerged as a vocal critic of Donald Trump. I'm a never Trump guy, he told Charlie Rose in October 2016. Number 26, my God, what an idiot, he tweeted about Donald Trump the same month. Number 27, Trump is cultural heroin, he wrote in The Atlantic. I think that he is noxious and is leading the white working class into a very dark place. Number 28, I go back and forth between thinking Trump is a cynical asshole like Nixon, who wouldn't be that bad and might even prove useful, or he's America's Hitler. He told a friend in February of 2016. Number 29, 2019, Vance founded his own venture firm, Nira Capital, of course funded by Thiel. See? Like Thiel's Palantir, Nira was named after a fictional object from a J.R.R. Tolkien Lord of the Rings book. So there you go. Who else do we got? Dude, I'm telling you, this is who Donald Trump has chosen as his vice presidential candidate. And let me tell you, you're bored here. Get him out of here. Ban that idiot. You're bored, then get the fuck out of here. All right? All right, get all these people the fuck out. Get them out. Get them the fuck out of here. Fucking piece of shit. This is a serious time in American fucking history, and you fucking people don't even give a crap. I'm looking at all these goddamn chat rooms. Look at these fucking dumbasses, man. Eddie 324-758. How does this relate to Russia, Ghost? Can we talk about Russia? Hey, listen, I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about, you piece of crap. All right? I'm tired of you trolls flapping your fat fucking fingers on the keyboard, talking a bunch of malarkey out here, all right? This fucking idiot, J.D. Vance, is proof that Trump is compromised and is doing shit against his will. That's why there's no more enthusiasm in the man. That's why he's just sitting there going through the motions. Let me tell you, I've been on here for 2 hours. Let me tell you, I don't want you fucking trolls to piss me off anymore, man, all right? I'm already pissed off because of last night. And I don't know when the hell I'm going to do another damn ghost show again. So everybody shut the fuck up. And five-finger prostate punch, is there any more progress on Pakistan? Listen, I'll get to it when I get to it, all right? Shut up! Jesus Christ, man. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm over here. You know what? Just go fuck yourself. All of you just shut up. You know what? I'm going to get my pipe here. I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to get back to the issues here. But I'm being broadcasted, on all kinds of different platforms. And I got all their stupid chat rooms right in front of me. And each and every one of these idiots are flapping their fat fucking Cheeto-stained fingers on the keyboard, talking a bunch of malarkey towards me. And I don't appreciate it. So I'm going to smoke some tobacco here for a minute. All right? Give me my fucking pipe. Where's my pipe? All right, I'm going to smoke some tobacco out here. And the strain of tobacco that I got from a Mexican kid that sells candy apples on the corner is called Panocha. Don't ask. I have no idea. But anyway, let me go ahead and take a smoke of this. And then once I do, we'll get back to the subject at hand. All right, I'm really sick of these damn troll terrorists, cyber vermin. And as I stated, I don't know when the hell I'm going to do another ghost show, but I'm going to be doing True Capitalist Radio 4 to 5 times a week for about 3 hours, all right? And what is it? Whenever you yell, you make my grandma cry. Well, I'm sorry, Devious Dave, but look at these fucking pricks! All right, I'm going to smoke here. Cheers to everybody out there who is listening, who, is attempting to have synapses being sparked in their brains, you know what I mean? Five-finger prostate punch. I'm not trolling this show, Ghost. You want serious? I'm being serious. Well, you're not being as trolly, five-finger prostate punch. I can give you that. All right. And anyway, we got Vox Artificials. TCR has been oddly chill for the most part today. Hope the smoke can calm your ass down. Hey, this is all I want, Vox Artificials, all right? This is serious times right now. This is serious issues, and we have to discuss this. This is a government made for the people and by the people. But if the people fall asleep at the wheel and wax their carrot to pre-teenage Japanese animated cartoons and shit and get their thumbs bruised on a fucking goddamn game controller, we're not going to get anywhere. And that's why I'm calling on each and every one of you that are listening right now. You people need to start fucking understanding that you bear some responsibility, especially if you're an American. You bear some responsibility of going out there and picking the leaders that are going to make this country as palatable as possible for each and every one of us. All right? All right. Anyway, let me go ahead and take a smoke here. Sorry, everybody out there. I'm very sorry. But I would strongly advise everybody, if you want to be serious, we have a great chat room in the TCR membership chat room. I'm going to be in there after this show, and we're going to be talking about even more issues. We're going to be talking about whatever's on the table. If you're a troll, don't even think about joining. It's a pure, serious chat room. And cheers to everybody out there who's in the chat room. As a matter of fact, let me give some shout outs to everybody who's online right now in the chat room. in the TCR chat room here. Let me see who's we've got Jackler in the house. We got Trolling the Interwebs. Flames We're Golfing. Gorgira. Jag Deluxe Ray. We've got Darth Hoodie. We've got Dougie Jones. Menno Ray. Space Trains. TCS in the house. Tesla Cyberheart. Vigo. Frank Castle in the place. Space Trains. Walskin in the house. And everybody else is either showing offline or whatever. But cheers to everybody out there in the chat room. Let me go ahead and tell everybody, cheers. Cheers, baby, cheers. And cheers to everybody out there who is listening. By the way, if you want to partake in the chat box, because we're not having any of these chat boxes of any of these damn platforms up here. They're pieces of crap. And the only way that you're going to be able to chat is if you're in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. And Five Finger Prostate Punch claims he's going to be serious if he's let in. And Pookie from 713, I'm not fighting any wars for Israel. Hashtag Dodge. All right, whatever. All right. Once again, folks, we're going to be having contests in there. I'm going to be giving away $100 in Bitcoin in a contest. I'm not announcing what it is on here. I'm going to be announcing it later on in the chat room, possibly tomorrow, not today. But it's going to be fun stuff. Cheers to everybody once again in the chat room. Thank you all for chilling with me, man. All right, let's go ahead. Let me take a smoke, and we're going to get back to the subject matters at hand. All right? Cheers to everybody out there who's listening. Let me go ahead and take a smoke. That's it. Got to hold it in, let it hit the brain, all right? All right. All right. Let's talk a little bit about international relations, all right? Let's talk a little bit about international relations. Now, how does Kamala Harris view international relations? That's the most important part. Take a look at this. How Kamala Harris views the world from Gaza to Russia and China to India. So, how does she view everything? Harris's stance on the war in Gaza, and analysts expect Harris, if elected, largely to continue Biden's approach to the Gaza war. She's repeatedly pledged support for Israel's security and defense while expressing empathy for the Palestinians in Gaza. So we're probably expecting her to do more of the same. What about Russia-Ukraine? Consistent with Biden's stance, Harris strongly backs Ukraine's self-defense efforts against Russia. Harris has also been, just like Biden, a committed supporter of NATO. In June, she met with Ukrainian President Zelensky at the Summit of Peace in Ukraine, going on in Switzerland. Russia aggression is not only an attack on our lives and the freedom of the people of Ukraine, it is not only an attack on global food security and energy supplies, she said, but it's also an attack on energy supplies. Sorry about that. She said at the summit. So she's consistent. She's consistent. And that's all I want. I just want somebody to continue this foreign policy that has been constructed by Antony Blinken. And that's another decent VP, if you want my opinion. But I think that would be too polarizing if you were to get Antony Blinken as your vice presidential running mate. But I definitely would like for him to stay as Secretary of State. Harris on China. Harris is expected to remain consistent with Biden's policy on China. So I'll be honest with you, on foreign policy alone, Harris looks good. I don't like her domestic politics, just as I didn't like Joe Biden's domestic politics. But what really counts is we stick it down the throats of Russia and China. We got to stick it down the throats of these fucking pricks. All right? That's all I care about. I do not want us to bow down to Russia and China so we can look like a bunch of chumps. All right? I don't want to look like a bunch of fucking chumps to Russia and China. I certainly do want to do. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Anyway, what's her stance on India? Harris's position on India has seen a shift over the past 5 years. Time and time again, during public appearances, the daughter of an Indian-born mother and a Jamaican-born father has mentioned her Indian heritage and how important her country is to her. in 2019.
I'd buy that for $1.
Hold on just a second. Wait, I'm out of touch. What are you fucking talking about, Matt? I'm not out of touch. What are you talking about? I'm a conservative, damn it. All right? The goddamn Republican Party has left me. I'm a conservative. Look at this, Matt. You're such an out-of-touch, low-energy boomer. Kid Rock hits are still bangers? Bro, 1998 called. They want their fucking stars back. What are you talking about? And the Hulk Hogan bit got me super hyped. With all due respect, Matt, that's because you're like a 40-year-old man who still watches fucking goddamn wrestling. All right? I hope you're going to enjoy the drag queen story time at the DNC. No, I'm not. But you'll get that raving reviews. Chuck Schumer, Ghost, yeah, whatever, all right? I'm about foreign policy, man. Don't you understand that? And hold on, we got Mr. Texas. He said, Vance says that he's a Irish hillbilly. Yeah, right. Why are there flyover FAGs so desperate to cling on to any semblance of an identity? Well, isn't that what we're operating on? Isn't that what everybody wants there, Mr. Texas? Everybody wants to be a part of something. Everybody wants to be affiliated with something. That's what the LGBTQ takes advantage of. Look, I have no problem with whatever anybody wants to do in the privacy of their own homes, in the privacy of their own clubs. But I think that when you're in the general public, I don't give a shit if you're heterosexual or homosexual. We should be shielding sexuality and sexual suggestion from children. And you see, what's unfortunate is that now a sexual fetish, which is gay, lesbian, transgendered, bisexual, whatever, a sexual fetish has now been transformed into an identity. And that's what's unfortunate about this whole situation. All right? Being gay, being LGBTQ is not an identity. It is a sexual fetish. Just because you wave a rainbow flag around doesn't mean that you're any different than before you sucked a schlong head or took meat in the can or dived on a muff. You're the same fucking schmuck. You're the same soulless, probably meaningless, a fucking useless individual than before you decided to go ahead and, go to the other side when it comes to getting your chocolate starfish penetrated. All right? If we were to apply this ridiculous mentality that they apply to LGBTQ, that LGBTQ is an identity as opposed to a sexual fetish, then why don't we allow people with bondage fetishes to go to work with whips and chains and leather and ball gags and all that shit because it's obnoxious, because it's a fetish, because it's not an identity, it's what you do when you want to get your rocks off in the privacy of your own home. And that's the problem, Mr. Texas. We have now, at least this Western civilization, have turned a sexual fetish into a identity. And that's not what defines a human being. What defines a human being is whether or not you're an honest person, whether or not you're a trustworthy person, whether or not you're a good person, whether or not you're a bad person, whether or not you're an evil person. That's what defines you as a human being, not how you like to be penetrated. Do you understand that? Not whether or not you like playing the flesh flute.
I'd buy that
Hold on, we got Ghost is a jabroni. Oh, this should be great. Ghost is a jabroni. What the hell is this about? All right. And look, I'm trying to spark synapses in the brains of folks. All right. Hey, Ghost, I just wanted to say that all the girls and women in the world are taking over Kamala Harris 2024, our first female president, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I could palate it if this broad continues to shove it down the throats of Russia and China to the point where they completely fall. That's all I care about. That's all I care about, because that provides American safety for the next century. If Russia and China are cut down to size and they're no longer superpowers, then the sustainability of America's safety is safe for the next 100 years. And that's what many people just don't understand when it comes to this foreign policy. All right, that's what many of you people don't understand. And, since we're talking about foreign policy, let's go ahead and talk about it, all right? Let's talk a little bit about Russia. Put the PC shot on. The Kremlin reacts cautiously to Kamala Harris's candidacy. Because, you see, they thought that, oh, look, Joe Biden, he's barely there. It's a shoo-in for our co-opted candidate, Trump. And he's going to end the war in Ukraine, and we're going to be able to run roughshod. Well, now that Kamala Harris is in the House, all of a sudden, the Kremlin is starting to, they're starting to backtrack some of that boisterous activity that they were saying after the damn assassination attempt of Trump. You know what I'm saying? And hold on, Vox Art officials, how does starting wars promote American safety? Well, to quote George Bush Jr., we're fighting them over there, so we don't have to fight them over here. And you see, that's what's unfortunate about many of you people that live in Western civilization. Y'all have lived in such safety that you don't ever believe that the threat of missiles and drones and weapons of war being used on your homeland, you can't fathom it. And let me tell you, the whole reason why we haven't been hit up in the massive military capacity as most of Europe has, most of Asia has, is because we protect our homeland. And before that threat gets to our mainland in America, we nip it in the past. We cut it off in the past. And that's what foreign policy is all about. That's what foreign policy is all about. That's why now that Kamala Harris could be the candidate for the DNC, now the Kremlin is starting to backtrack a little bit. Now they're starting to backtrack. They're starting to realize, oh shit, this bitch is going to continue to support the Ukrainian invasion. That's right. All right, because Russia ain't doing too well. As I've stated, they're just barely propping up their shit. They can barely find anybody to pay for their piece of shit oil or their natural gas. And take a look at this. This happened yesterday, or actually early this morning. Ukraine drone attack damages Russia's largest Black Sea refinery. All right. And once again, what is this doing? This is depleting Russia of natural resources, of military resources, of economic resources, of population resources, so that we never have to deal with these stupid, dumb Ruskies again, baby. And Bob Tom, how is Ukraine our homeland? You stupid idiot. Look, no offense, Bob Tom, you have a fucking brony as your profile picture, a My Little Pony profile picture. The whole reason why your weak little man-child ass can have the luxury of having that stupid man-child mentality is because of Mother Green and her killing machine. And I'm talking about the United States military. So once you can comprehend that out of your effeminate little body, that's when you'll start recognizing that, oh yeah, no shit. I mean, that's the whole reason why I can be a weak little fucking stupid asshole who whacks his carrot off to animated ponies. I get it. That's right, Ghost. Anyway, once again, a Ukrainian drone damages Russia's largest Black Sea refinery. And everybody was all scared when Russia sent that ridiculous boat with that fucking stupid, barely able to survive submarine to Cuba. And everybody thought that, oh my God, they're coming over here. We're scared. Russia's going to do something. Russia's not going to do a goddamn thing. You want to know why they went to Cuba? Because they need somewhere to build a refinery. Take a look at this. I mean, the refineries are getting hit up by Ukraine with these drones. And look, Ukraine's not stupid. I mean, you've got Russia trying to terrorize Ukraine by hitting up Kyiv, invading Kharkiv, hitting up these densely populated areas. And meanwhile, you've got Ukraine hitting up the infrastructure of Russia. So this is the tit for tat that we're having here. And let me tell you, hitting up the natural resources for Russia is hitting them hard. It's hitting them hard, for Christ's sake. So I'm telling you right now, this is the foreign policy that we need to stick with. If we somehow back off from this, these Russian and Chinese will call us the paper tiger for the rest of history. And this is a defining moment, in my opinion, for America. So that's why I'm saying, if you are a simp for Russia, If you think that Russia is better than America, then vote for Donald Trump at this point, because that's who his candidacy is going to make better. That's who his candidacy is going to make great again. China and Russia. Now, if you're against China and Russia, then, you may want to look for another alternative, is all I'm saying, all right? And by the way, we're not fucking around. We understand that we're having political turmoil over here, so the military industrial complex ain't fucking around. Take a look at this. Russia says it scrambled fighter jets to intercept a B-52 bomber. So we're still out there telling these Russians that we ain't backing down. We ain't backing down, and this is the most important policy of this election cycle. Is foreign policy. Are we going to look like chumps? Are we going to bow down to a fucking dictator in Putin? Are we going to bow down to a dictator in Xi Jinping? Are we going to bow down to these fucking people? Fuck that shit. If you're a fucking chump and you fucking love Russia and you think Russia's better than America, then vote for Donald Trump, you fucking traitorous piece of shit. All right? Anyway, five-finger prostate punch with a rumble rant. Do you think they dropping the standards to enter the military and trying to impose a draft to depopulate and cover the ill effects of COVID vax? Well, I don't know about that. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know about that. But it's really about trying to reorganize the world order, if you know what I'm saying.
I'd buy that.
Oh, jeez. What is it, Mad Thad? God damn it. What is it? All right, what is it, Mad Thad? Okay, let's be serious. Kids these days are porn addicts by high school. They are playing the Pornhub jingle in the high school band concerts. Look it up. You aren't going to shield these kids from anything anymore. They have unlimited access to the internet. There isn't a kid-friendly version of the internet. They share the same internet you and I share. I know this is coming from me being a little bit uncomfortable, but let this be truly honest here. Once again, you're out of touch. Well, maybe we need to start holding parents accountable. How about that shit? I mean, this is something that we need to advocate on the right, because parents hold no accountability for what their children do, and yet they are the legal guardians of these children. So that's why I'm saying, in my opinion, I think that we need to hold parents more accountable. And then we would have these goddamn kids not being all Pornhub happy and thinking that they can get away with anything. Have parents take the rap for the crimes that their children do, and you'll see what happens, all right? You'll see what the fuck happens. And we've got Vox Artificials just make it a felony to produce or distribute pornography, and it'll disappear immediately. Well, I think that we need to do something about pornography. I think that's maybe going a little too strong. But I do think that we need to do something about pornography and its ease of accessibility to children. Now, Texas tried to ban it, and I'm not too sure how effective that is going. But I do believe that there needs to be at least some kind of disclaimer before pornographic materials, much like cigarettes. How they give you a warning that there could be cancer or something. There has to be something that warns people that, hey, all scenes depicted in this pornographic material are a bunch of crap. All right? Everything that is being shown in this pornographic material, these are bitches being paid. These are not women getting pulled over and being brought into a van and banging everybody in there. That doesn't happen. All right? This is fake. You don't just go up to some woman and tell her you got an oral fetish and pull out $300 and they just start going down on you. That doesn't happen. And this is why I think there needs to be some kind of disclaimer, in my personal opinion. There needs to be some kind of disclaimer about this, because you got a lot of weird people that believe that how you socially interact with women or the opposite sex is what you see on pornographic material, which is not the fucking case, all right? And don't start naming porn stars up in here. We don't want to promote pornography in here, all right? Put the PC shot on. 281 Radio Graffiti. That's rich coming from someone with the username Mad Thad. Google who Mad Thad was. Dude, come on. Look, this is true capitalist radio, man. Let's not do this with the goddamn drama, man. Save the drama for your mama and Obama. Anyway, folks, all right, we're trying to continue on with this broadcast. Once again, this is True Capitalist Radio. We are going to be broadcasting 4 to 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, all right, trying to keep people up to date with what's going on with today's world, all right? Now, let's continue here. Five-finger prostate punch, it does happen sometimes, but those women cry in the back of the vans and they aren't laughing. Dude, that's horrible, all right? But anyway, take a look at this. This is the latest out of the Kharkiv offensive that Russia did recently. According to Zelensky, 20,000 Russians died in the Kharkiv offensive. All right. Now, there are a lot of Russians dying out here, but as I've said time and time again, the whole war strategy of Russia is to send wave after wave of men in order to overwhelm the enemy. And historically, that's worked about 50% of the time for Russia. And they just, I said on the last show, they're conscripting 150,000 more conscripts in order for the war effort to continue. All right, I said that 2 shows ago, as a matter of fact. So Russia is continuing its traditional strategy, its historical strategy of the meat grinder. And here's this article again, just to remind everybody. Russia conscripts 150,000 troops as Ukraine says it needs more arms. So let me tell you, it's just a meat grinder out there, and I understand why people are concerned about a lot of people dying, but I just want to remind everybody that it was Russia that invaded Ukraine. All right? Now, with that being said, it seems to me that Ukraine might be deflating its warlike mentality at this point in time. And the reason I'm saying that is because the following. Zelensky is coming out and says, we need to have a peace talk, all right? And take a look at this. Kremlin welcomes Zelensky's stance on talks and awaits new U.S. course. So right now, we've got at least a tentative, I guess, acceptance, or at least an entertaining approach to a peace deal here. But everybody's waiting on the new course. And why is Kremlin waiting? Because they want to see if Donald Trump is in office. And if Donald Trump is in office, they're not going to want to deal with Zelensky. As a matter of fact, it's going to give them leverage over Zelensky. So that's why, even though Zelensky is pulling out the olive branch, you've got the Russians buying their time. Buying their time. They're going to wait and see. This is why this election is all about foreign policy. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's what this election is about. And Zelensky might be feeling the pressure because very little has been accomplished since he's been in charge of Ukraine. And there are no elections in Ukraine, which is another criticism many people aren't really happy with in that country. They're under a martial law situation that gives Ukraine this leader indefinitely. And now look, with all the talk of Trump possibly being president and him pulling out of Ukraine, and him inviting Russia to hit NATO countries, him saying he will not back up Taiwan if China invades Taiwan. Take a look at this.
I'd buy that for $1.
Take a look at this. I'll get to you in a minute there, old fox. So take a look at this. Europe turns to conscription as a threat of wider war with Russia grows. So now all of a sudden, all you folks in Europe, y'all better start taking this very seriously. That's why you fucking leftists out there that are trying to raise up, you need to recognize y'all are this close of being conscripted and being put out there in an attempt to either confront Russia or to contain Russia. Because let me tell you, we're over here on the United States side, we don't look like we are very stable right now. And that's why you've got Europe making its own unilateral moves. And I think that in my personal opinion, I'm going to keep saying it, man, foreign policy is the issue of 2024. Foreign policy is the issue of 2024. Jesus Christ. And Pookie from 713, will the PayPal gang controlling Trump let him continue to be pro-Putin, though? Pookie, you have to understand, these oligarchs that are in control of not just Silicon Valley, but the spy state, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, these guys are in control of the weapons necessary that have been given to the CIA, FBI, and all these other alphabet agencies in order to spy on us. They've created them. These guys are in an elite status that we can't really comprehend at this point. So their motive is to make sure that there's peace, or at least some kind of an agreement with the United States and Russia and China, so that they can take the billions that they have.
That for $1.
So they can take the influence and the money that they have and try to build on top of that in these other markets. It's all about controlling the world via economic monopoly. And that's the motive behind Peter Thiel. That's the motive behind Musk and everybody in back of these guys. It's about opening up the Russian market. It's about opening up the Chinese market so they can make not just even more money. Money equals control. All right? When you control the means of production, you're in control of the country. I mean, didn't Marx talk about that shit in the Communist Manifesto? That's why Marx talked about the state taking control of the means of production. And here you have these oligarchs out here not only just controlling the means of production, they control the surveillance state. They're the ones who created the tools so that the CIA and the FBI can spy on us. I mean, that's power. As a matter of fact, there was a 90s movie that talked about this called The Net, starring Sandra Bullock, even though it uses old technology, but it's along the same lines, where some guy who is in charge of creating the software for the Defense Department goes rogue and decides to start killing people. So, I mean, this is not far off. This is not something that is, off the wall concept here. Anyway, let me get to some of these Buy Me a Coffees here. And cheers to everybody out there who's hooking up with a Buy Me a Coffee. El Foxo Loco, remember one of your OG TCR fans was used in a Bang Bus Bro promo. Trixie Fixie, the French doors guy, appeared for a few seconds, declining sex with his face blurred. I didn't know that. I knew he lived in Miami. I'm guessing they weren't asking him with an actual intentions of fucking him on camera. If he said yes, but that's the influence of your show regardless. Well, I'm glad he said no. You should not be going out there and exploiting yourself for a couple of bucks. I don't care who you are. I mean, once you sell yourself as a sexuality person, once you sell sexuality, you've demeaned your credibility as a person. And this goes out to you OnlyFans people and all you people that are participating in exploiting yourself. Once you have participated in selling sexuality, you are no longer a credible person, whether you like it or not. Okay? So I just want to let everybody know that if you're going to sell yourself for sexuality, you can't expect any kind of respect. If you're an OnlyFans person or if you partake in this kind of shit, you can't expect respect. That's why you get the money. I mean, that's why you're doing it. That's why you're shitting bananas out of your ass or whatever you're doing on OnlyFans. You're doing it because of the quick money. And that's the exchange, your character for money. And if you have no character and you don't give a shit about yourself and you think that money is more important, well, then that's why you're doing OnlyFans. That's why you're prostituting yourself. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, political enthusiast extraordinaire. I realize that is a nuanced aspect of political alignment. Social versus fiscal versus moral, etc. If my main political motivation is just to thwart the spread of Judaism and actively work to destroy Israel and Zionism, how should I vote? Well, I don't know. You're not going to accomplish that in this political system, I'll tell you that. I mean, let's be real. I mean, the Jewish contingent of this particular society is very influential in more ways than one, and I'm not too sure if you're going to be able to accomplish that in America. I mean, lest we forget that the Republican Party in Congress has been fighting each other, they have done nothing since they've been in charge of the Congress, of the House, I should say. I'm talking the Republicans. And the only thing that they all gathered around and coalesced behind was this anti-free speech, anti-Israel, I don't know, anti-Semitic bill. Y'all remember that? That's the only thing that got all the Republicans in the House together in unison, was to pass this ridiculous anti-First Amendment, anti-Semitic bill. So I don't know how you're going to accomplish that. That's why you got to look at the Nick Fuentes of the world and ask yourself, why does anybody listen to this guy? Because he offers no fucking solutions. All he is just like every other, Nazi LARPer is, my Jew, my Jew, my Jew. And, I mean, do you have some criticisms that may or may not be valid? Sure. But you're certainly not going to be able to offset whatever it is that you're trying to offset just talking a bunch of edgy nonsense. Anyway, let's go on. Let's go on to China here. Put the PC shot on. China focuses on Kamala Harris's weakness after Biden exits. You see, so not even China is liking the new nomination of Kamala Harris, because as we've read, Kamala Harris represents more of the same when it comes to the foreign policy of Joe Biden. Now, are we going to see maybe some leftist crap that panders to the racialization of our country? Yeah. Are we going to see some pandering from the Democrats when it comes to this bolstering of this freak show LGBTQ extremist shit? Yeah. But at least the current foreign policy, which puts China and Russia on their heels, is something that in the long term makes America safer, and it sustains the longevity of this country. That's why when Kamala Harris, it was announced that she may be the nominee here, that's why you got both Russia and China saying, what the fuck? What the fuck? So, not very good reactions. I mean, you would think that, fuck that woman. Fucking that woman doesn't do nothing. On the contrary, but just like Russia, which is barely hanging on by a string when it comes to its economy, same thing happening with China. Take a look at this. China to allow delayed retirement to combat population woes. So not even in a communist government do you get the utopia that all these communists try to sell when it comes to this communist crap. Here you've got China that promises everything when it comes to cradle to grave, big brother support. They're now rolling back their retirement funds, huh? And that's soon to happen here in the United States when it comes to Social Security. This goes to show you that they're in serious trouble because most of their population is aging. They have a problem just like America, but on a bigger number scale, that their older population surpasses the number of people that are younger. And they have to support these people. Remember, they're a communist country. They take care of these people from cradle to grave. You know what I mean? And by the way, get this guy out of here. Get these fucking people out. Get them out. All right? I'm not taking shit from anybody in any of these fucking chat rooms, you stupid son of a bitch. All right? I'm sick and tired of you people talking garbage. I'm kicking anybody out that talks shit. Tired of this shit. I'm tired of all of you. All right? I'm over here. I'm shooting pearls to your fucking asses, and you don't even care. You don't even fucking care. Jesus fucking Christ, all right? How does China affect us? It will affect you if you fucking leave them alone, you dick, all right? Remember, we didn't do shit when World War II happens and let whatever the hell happened over there, and then it came right to our front doorstep in Pearl Harbor. All right? So don't give me this crap. All right, what does that matter? Who cares? You say that from the safety of America, you fucking entitled piece of shit. All right? This is what makes me sick about you younger generations. All right? The whole reason why you're a bunch of weak pieces of game playing, anime watching, effeminate crap, and you have the luxury to be that way is because of the American safety that the military-industrial complex bestows upon all of you ungrateful American people. All right? You have to remember that. Of course, you don't remember that. You take it for granted because you have the luxury to take it for granted. You're not like 70% of the world that lives on less than $2 a day that you're completely disconnected with what the hell is going on with the rest of the world, while you people are going out there getting your thumbs bruised on fucking video game controllers, eating chicken tendies and spaghetti for a living, instead of going out there and participating as a productive member of society. Instead, you fucking idiots make every excuse in the book on why you refuse to be productive and continue to be a burden on your fucked up fucking shitbird pussy whip families. All right? And look at this, some idiot Pookie from 713 with a rumble rant. I'd rather serve crack than serve this country. You see, this is what we have. Ungrateful, spoiled American people that, look at this, push comes to shove, when our homeland is being threatened, these pieces of shit ain't gonna lift up a fucking finger. You all should be ashamed of yourselves, all right? Each and every one of you scumbags that are out there saying that you would dodge the draft, then get the fuck out of my country, you fucking treasonous piece of shit! Go out there and go live in North Korea and see if your ungratefulness is appreciated over there. Why don't you go and move to China and see if your selfish, unappreciative, fucking stupid attitude is appreciated over there? It's not going to! All right? So get out of my country, you scum! You anti-American scum! Son of a bitch. I'm telling you, man. Ungrateful American people. Ungrateful American fucking people. I'm smoking, for Christ's sake. You know, when I see American ungrateful, entitled pieces of shit that are out here saying that they'll dodge the draft, that they hate their country, that makes me want to fucking throw up. You people are lucky that you live in America, you piece of shit. You people are lucky that you have the Constitution that protects you, all right, that gives you unalienable rights, all right? I mean, would you be able to do the shit that you're doing in these chat rooms if you lived in China, you stupid piece of crap? Would you be able to do the kind of shit that you're doing right now if you lived in North Korea or in Russia? No! No! And look at Urinator. As a veteran, dodging the draft is based. Yeah, you're a fucking scumbag. And Ghost's wife's son, what kind of fucking name is that? LOL, calm down. I'm not going to calm down. Look at these people and each and every one of these fucking chat rooms, man. They're un-American. They fucking entitled. They're unappreciative, for Christ's sake, man. They said they'll dodge the draft. How dare these fucking people? How dare these fucks? Jesus Christ, and hold on, five-finger prostate punch. My job skills of forming metal plate will keep me out of the war. You better think twice, boy. You're going to be out there in the field, all right, welding tanks or something, all right? Let me tell you something, boy. If our society's threatened with war, you people better get out there and you better protect America. And if you're not ready to protect America, then do everybody a favor and get the fuck out! Get out! Anyway, speaking of China, since most of you people think it's a better country than America, take a look at this. China's long blueprint for the economy falls short on details, raising concern. Now, as I was stating, the Chinese government had some kind of a meeting on its economy here this past week, and it was alleged that Xi Jinping may have had a heart attack or a stroke at this event. Now, they're claiming that he hasn't, and they're showing him doing something on some video. I'd like to wait to see if Xi Jinping actually goes out and meets another head of state, but we'll see. But once again, this big economic meeting, a big nothing burger. A big fat nothing burger. And we got belligerent Brian. America won't need protecting if it doesn't start another pointless war. What are you talking about, another pointless war? The fucking Russians invaded Ukraine. All right, the Russians invaded Ukraine. And Urinator, what was your draft number, Ghost? Dude, why don't you go fucking... You know what, I don't even want to tell you to do anything sexual to me because you'd enjoy it. All right? I mean, if y'all don't know who Urinator is, this guy sexually harasses me on every social media platform and every goddamn chat room. This guy literally says he'll eat the corn out my shit. That's how fucking sick this bastard is. You know what? If I was a woman, I could probably have you arrested. Fucking sick-ass pervert. Fucking piece of shit. Anyway, we're going to continue on with China here because China, let me tell you something right now, no major shift in their economy. And take a look at this. I mean, is the China social contract about to break down? And what this means is, folks, is that China has always been able to achieve 5% GDP growth ever since Mao Zedong's Great Leap Forward. And it has not been able to achieve that here for almost a decade. And it's gotten lower and lower on the GD percentile range because of Xi Jinping's economic reforms, which are Maoist in nature. And because of his Maoist reforms...
I'd buy that for $1.
Now, hold on just a second. Hold on. Dude, Matt, Dad, are you fucking kidding me, you fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? You're actually boasting about this? You're actually proud of this? Oh, my God. Take a look at this. Matt, Dad, I'm glad I'm a felon. No draft for me, Ghost. I'll be sitting next to you on 6th Street. No, you're not. No, you're not. Let me tell you something right now. Felon or no felon, you're going out there, boy. All right? You're going out there. And Urinator said, don't deny what we have, Ghost. All right, dude, I'm getting sick of this shit. All right? All right, I'm out here. I mean, I'm trying to shoot pearls over here, and you people don't even give a fuck. All right? Anyway, once again, is the Chinese social contract breaking down? All right, and the reason we're asking why is the Chinese social contract breaking down? Because, I mean, people are fleeing fucking China. And I'm talking the elites, the millionaires. Take a look at this. Ghost cities, no pun intended, fleeing millionaires, China's rudderless economy. And this is why Xi Jinping is getting desperate. And all Xi Jinping needs to do, in my opinion, is either bow down and capitulate to America, which it doesn't look like they're going to do, or he has to engage in some kind of military conflict. Now, as I've stated, I don't think that China is in the position right now to be able to confront a nation state in some kind of a conflict capacity. So what I've said, and I hope that Xi Jinping is listening, is that they need to go into Pakistan and they need the okay from the government in order to quash this terrorist problem that they have in Pakistan so that the Chinese military can show how ruthless and how cold they are in order to display their military might. And in this capacity, they can show their brutality to the world while at the same time not confronting a nation state, which could cause a lot of casualties on the Chinese side. But we'll see if they're listening. That would be the best move, because right now, the Philippines something mean from the Philippines, they're not fucking around. All right, they're not fucking around. And they're ready to confront China. And take a look at this. China's now backing down. Take a look at this. China agrees to dial back tensions at Second Thomas Shoal. All right. The Philippine government has negotiated a deal with China to de-escalate tensions at the Second Thomas Shoal, a longtime flashpoint in the Philippine exclusive economic zone. Chinese forces have repeatedly assaulted Philippine supply convoys at the shoal with ramming and water cannon tactics, injuring multiple Philippine service members.
I'd buy that for $1.
Something mean from the Philippines. And cheers to Enigma, man. I'll get to yours in just a second, man. Cheers. But this goes to show you that the fact that China is trying to diplomatically solve this problem with the Philippines shows that they absolutely don't want none of the Philippines. And people are saying, talk about Taiwan. There's nothing to talk about. I mean, if China really wanted to go and hit up Taiwan, they would have done so. As a matter of fact, I dare Xi Jinping to invade Taiwan because I think that it would be such a quagmire. I think it would be even worse than what Russia is dealing with the Ukraine right now. I think it's going to be worse than that. Of course, they haven't made a move. They haven't made a move, and they're not going to make a move. And what's going on to Duke Orville, who's now a member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, man? Cheers to Duke Orville. Now, let me go ahead and take some more Buy Me a Coffees here. We got a couple of Buy Me a Coffees. Cheers to Duke Orville. Let's go ahead and take some Buy Me a Coffees here. We got Enigma Cheers, Ghost, and thanks for the TCR today. Saw the tweet saying you want to do it back to the BTR schedule. Super pumped for that as my work schedule makes it possible for me to be able to wake up to Ghost content every single day. I've recently started dating someone after following your advice, and things have really been looking up. Well, congratulations, Enigma. Unfortunately, it's a woman, and we all know how much I love taking cock up the ass, but oh, God. Your boy just wants someone waiting for him when he gets home. Cheers and lots of beers. Well, thank you, Enigma. And once again, Duke Orbital is now a member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. And by the way, come on down and become a member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I'm going to be in that chat room right after this broadcast. I'm going to need a few minutes. I'm probably going to be there in 30 minutes after the broadcast. But come kick back with us, man. Serious conversation. And also, you have access to being part of the chat box that's there at the bottom left-hand corner. And once again, cheers to everybody out there in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. All right? Anyway, once again, China dialing back all the aggression against the Philippines. Now let's talk about Pakistan and China. How's that working out? Because as I stated, I think that China needs to move in on Pakistan in order to show the world its military might. But we'll see. Take a look at the latest news. China-Pakistan relations are at a crossroads. Beijing is waiting to see if the new security measures are successful and if its business in Pakistan can resume as normal. Now, as I stated, there's a lot of investment in China, in Pakistan. China's invested billions upon billions in the Chinese-Pakistan Economic Corridor, into the Belt Road Initiative, and it is putting pressure right now on Pakistan in order for it to quash the terrorist uprising situation that it has, and it's not doing very well. It's not doing very well at all. So, in my opinion, I think we're inching closer and closer for China forcing Pakistan's hand and China going in there and just running roughshod over the country in order to protect its assets. And one of its big assets that it just unveiled out there is the Gwadar airport in Pakistan, which I'm telling you is going to be a target for terrorists here soon enough. The Gwadar airport in Pakistan, which costs I don't know how many billions from China. But China-Pakistan relations are at a crossroads, and it's because, Pakistan is almost a failed state. I mean, it's almost a goddamn failed state. And by the way, we were talking about the Balochistan separatists on the last show and how Pakistan is trying to use diplomacy in hopes of trying to kind of quash that militancy in northwest Pakistan from the Balochistan separatists. Well, take a look at this. The Indians, which are not very friendly to Pakistan and certainly not the best of friends to China, actually intercepted a package. Take a look at this. Fear rise as China supplying Pakistan's dreaded chemicals for use against the Balochistan rebels. The seizure by the Iranians' customs of dual-use chemical consignment covertly en route from Shanghai to Karachi. All right? So, what's happening here is China is now supplying weird chemicals in order to induce chemical warfare with the Balochistan separatists. Now, this is not good, but as I stated, it's going towards that direction in which China is going to go in there and actually conduct military operations in Pakistan. All right, I'm not joking around. And by the way, people are saying, I don't want to join the True Capitalist Radio membership to get banned. Nobody's gotten banned. All right? Nobody's gotten banned. Even trolly people that are in there are not being trolly. Everybody in there talks a serious conversation. Everybody keeps a very strict rule on that. I mean, I love it. As a matter of fact, ask anybody who's in there. They appreciate being in there and having good, concise conversation without any of this goddamn internet drama, internet blood sport garbage. So once again, cheers to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I will be in there after this show, all right? I will be in there after this show, for Christ's sake. Anyway, this Pakistani terrorist or anti-terrorist operation is now killing innocent people, unfortunately. Take a look at this. 3 people killed in shooting at peace rally in Pakistan, and this was unfortunately a part of this crackdown that the Pakistanis are trying to do when it comes to this terrorist situation in order to appease China. And not only are they losing men, they're now killing innocent bystanders. They're now killing innocent bystanders, and look, the people of Pakistan are pissed. They're fucking pissed. Right after that shooting and killing of innocent people, take a look at this. Thousands stage a protest sit-in in northwest Pakistan after military allegedly fires on a peace march. So this anti-terrorism campaign by Pakistan is not doing very well. And what is this, 5-finger prostate punch? See, there's hope for me being in the TCR chat. I'll behave if you can't. Well, listen, I do not want any trolling or any of that shit. Don't do it. All right, just don't do it. Jesus fucking Christ, man. And by the way, if there's enough members, anyway, never mind. You know what? It's already been 3 hours. All right, I'm going to end it here. I didn't mean to go off on that soliloquy about a lot of the domestic stuff. I was just going to talk a little bit more about Pakistan. Let me talk a little bit about Israel, and then we'll move on, all right? Let me talk a little bit about Israel. Did y'all hear that the Houthis have now taken pop shots at Israel, and did you see how Israel responded? Take a look at this. All right, Israel, look at that fireball. Israel responds to the Houthi drone attack with airstrikes in Yemen. So now, as I've always alluded to, ever since like last year, after the October 7th events in Israel, I said that we should redirect the aggression of Israel into doing things for us. And as you can see, they have expanded their operation outside of Gaza. They're confronting Hezbollah in Lebanon. And now that the Houthis are hitting up Israel, they are hitting up Yemen. And once again, they also missile attack fucking Iran. So this is exactly what the prognosticator strikes again. This is what I'm talking about, baby. This is what I'm talking about. All right, so Israel is not messing around. They're doing our dirty work. All right. And Netanyahu, by the way, is headed towards this part of the damn globe over here. He's headed to the United States, and he's going to talk in front of Congress, apparently, under the shadow of the Middle East disaster. And this comes at a very interesting time because we are in a very political turmoil-based situation here in America. And Netanyahu, when he talks to Congress, is going to have to make a genuine appeal here, even though he has kind of gone against, Geneva Convention type warfare. I mean, I think that the Israelis have gone bare knuckle and have gotten very aggressive. That's why you've got the International Criminal Court, filing, warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and such. So, I mean, everybody has their own view on this issue, but unfortunately, America is kind of dragged into it. So that's why I said that if Israel is going to do what it does, why not use it to our advantage? Why not redirect their aggression towards our enemies? That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. All right, let me get to some totally useless news, and then we're going to get to some radio graffiti, all right? We are now at the totally useless news portion of the broadcast, and this one should be a very interesting one. Did y'all hear about this? Horror as Extreme Eater 24 dies during live stream after 10-hour food binge. That's right, one of these mukbangers out there in Asia decided that they were going to do a 10-hour food binge, and I guess apparently died from their stomach exploding. So, anything for the views nowadays. Good God. And Camaro RS09, I don't feel like joining the TCR Discord since I have other things to focus on, but thanks for the offer. Well, I appreciate it there, Camaro. But it's actually a decent chat room. We've got people from the inner circle joining. You know what I mean? Because it's serious. It's a serious chat room. All right, that's a strict rule. And if you start committing any kind of goddamn drama, we throw you in the woodshed. All right, and then we'll take you out of the woodshed, and if you're still causing drama, we'll throw you in the woodshed one more time. We'll take you out. You still cause drama, you out of there. All right? Jesus Christ. Anyway, once again, an autopsy reveals Pan Zhaoting's abdomen was full of undigested food, which she sometimes binged on for 10 hours during extreme eating challenges in front of fans. So there we go. I mean, this is what streaming has turned into now. 10-hour mukbangs in order to explode your gut. All right, so that's one totally useless news segment. And another totally useless news segment. Did you hear about this? I mean, would you buy this? I mean, take a look at this. Watch your garden glow with new genetically modified bioluminescent petunias. All right? Now, what science has done is they have taken this this bioluminescent compound, which is called luciferase. I'm not kidding. Look it up. Some of you may have taken it in your vaccine. I'm not joking around. But luciferase is a bioluminescent compound that I believe is found inside the butts of light bugs. And they have taken that and they have put it and genetically modified it to be put into all kinds of biological organisms. And I'm not joking around. Look up the term luciferase. That's the bioluminescent compound that creates a glowing type, natural glowing type of situation inside cellular mechanisms. Now, the reason that it's in many of you, and it depends on what vaccine you took, but the reason that it's in there, all right, the reason that it's in there is because future applications of luciferase is supposed to illuminate the inside organs and vessels and all that shit of humans in order for a better and easier diagnoses of different conditions. So if you're wondering why the hell you might have this luciferase compound in you, it depends on which vaccine you took. And five-finger prostate punch, Asian plus fatty dying is a double win. That's not funny, all right? That's not funny. But would you buy bioluminescent petunias? I mean, what does that do to the rest of your garden? I wouldn't want to put any of this genetically modified crap in any of my shit. And five-finger prostate punch, they have done that with people injecting it into people's eyes for night vision. Look it up. It's called biohacking. And Tesla Cyberheart, glowy petunias for a glowy psyop. All right, first of all, I'm not a psyop, all right? I'm just a broadcaster, all right? And look, everybody in the chat room is like, I can vouch for it. No one has gotten banned from the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's a great chat room. All you got to do is go right now, buymeacoffee.com/GhostPolitics, and click right here, join the True Capitalist Radio membership. All right? And you'll be right into the chat room, and you'll be chatting with us later on. I'm going to be in there tonight. I'm going to have a few beers with everybody in there. Everybody in there is completely cool, very intelligent, very good conversations in there, and I appreciate that chat room. And once again, cheers to all the members in there, man. Cheers to all the members. All right, it's only $10. It's not $300. It's $10 for Christ's sake. Anyway, folks, I think it's about that time for everybody's favorite part of the broadcast, and I'm talking about Radio Graffiti. That's right, folks. Radio Graffiti. The part. You know what? Kick these fuckers out of here. Kick them out of here. All right. If you people are gonna talk shit, I'm kicking you out of here. Son of a bitch. Anyway, as I was stating, all right, give us a call right now, 667-770-1015. And once the operator bitch starts talking, go ahead and push in the code 844-286. And once you do, you will be in queue to be a part of Radio Graffiti. And when I call on your area code or I got your name, you got 4 to 5 seconds to say whatever is on your mind. And hold on, Kit says, outside of being cheaper, what separates the inner circle and the TCR chat room? Well, the inner circle, believe it or not, is like a bunch of chummy guys and females that go in there. And don't be wrong, we talk about serious issues, But a lot of those folks have been in there for a long time. And, it's more of a social club, a think tank, that sort of thing. When it comes to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, we come to an assessment on what the hell the news is that day. We analyze things. We talk about stocks. We talk about finance. It is pure adult conversation. All right? Unlike in the IC, we bust balls a little bit in the IC. It's a little bit more nonchalant in there. It's more friendly-ish, ball busting. None of that shit in here. All right? It's purely just serious conversation. And, that's just the way it is. Nobody's going to be making fun of anybody. No, there's no not safe for work adult conversation. There's none of that shit. There's none of that shit. And look, we got Aesthetic. Hey, Ghost at work. Have a good show. Cheers, man. Aesthetic has become a new member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Cheers to Aesthetic. And once again, cheers to Duke Orbill and Eddie 324758. Adult conversations like erotic roleplay. No, you idiot. Social, political commentary, finance. There's a lot of things that we talk about, all right? A lot of things that we discuss in that chat room, and I appreciate everybody in there. All right? Anyway, once again, cheers to Aesthetic, who just became a member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Cheers to you, man. All right, let's go ahead and connect to the Radio Graffiti line, folks. And once again, I'm going to have to end the YouTube stream because I certainly do not want to be banned from YouTube. It's bad enough that I'm demonetized over there. I certainly don't want to get banned over there. So, to everybody over there at YouTube, go ahead and go to one of the other streams. We're on Rumble. We're on Vaughn.live/ghost. We're on the DLive.tv/GhostPolitics. We're also on Twitter. Believe it or not, I'm streaming on Twitter. Go to my name, The Ghost Report, all one word, no underscores, and you'll be able to catch the stream there. So, to everybody on YouTube, cheers to each and every one of you. Thank you very much for tuning in with me, and I will see you probably tomorrow because I'm going to be doing these True Capitalist Radio shows 4 to 5 times a week. All right? So cheers to everybody out there. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate each and every one of you on YouTube. Try to go catch another stream if you want to hear the latter part of Radio Graffiti. Anyway, to everybody out there on YouTube, cheers, baby, cheers. And I'm out of here. Woo!